Testing 1, 2, 3. Can you hear me? Testing 1, 2, 3. Can you hear me? Connecting, reconnecting. Yes, we have a thumbs up. Excellent, excellent. Manos, are you there?
Yes, I am.
Bro, what's up, bro?
What up? It's been a while.
Dude, it's been a minute, and you look fantastic with this carnivore diet of yours. I'm very impressed, my friend. How are you doing?
I'm doing very well, man. Thank you. How about you?
I'm doing very well as well. We're in this new Chinese year, and it is a horse year. We're coming out of a snake year. And for me, the snake meant shedding some skin. And for me, that had to do with some toxicity. And I'm really feeling that right now, having released a lot of bad energy from my ex-wife and from a former life, and really stepping into this mentorship, really stepping into this year, really feeling the energy of the horse, man. Like, it's like, giddy the motherfucking up, because we're going places, and there's just so much energy. And I know the world is going fucking crazy right now, and it's a great place to talk about that. But just the energy I'm referring to is this unleashing of unbridled energy that a Mustang is the analogy I'm utilizing, in which these concepts, in which all of the mentorships behind us create this vortex Fibonacci spiral as we're growing, right? I feel the growth and the exponential growth as we're compounding and growing. It's an energy, it's a force, and you can feel it. And there's synergy amongst folks, and that is a mastermind, right? That's the beauty of what we're doing, is really connecting the soul with the mind and the energy, and creating a collective consciousness. And by doing that, we are combating against the very force and the very energy that is trying to hold you down, right? So the proverbial matrix and the rebels within the matrix, the machines versus the souls, we're there. We're in this matrix. You're in it right now. We're fighting it. You're being empowered by technology. Is technology good? I don't know. But intuition is good. And what Michael is talking about is where and how you can tap into your own intuition. The last parts I heard personally was where and how he was very, very specifically explaining how to tap into intuition. Michael, is that fair to say? You were explaining how you were internalizing the market. Yes, sir. Yes, sir.
Yeah, I'm not sure. I was trying to say something to you earlier, and it wouldn't let me connect, and it wouldn't let me take my microphone off of mute. So I'm not sure what that's all about.
Bro, X is undefeated. We know that.
Your monologue, man. I'm fucking fired up. I'm ready to listen. Like, I'm ready to hear what everybody has to say. I'm jacked up.
Bro, you got me jacked up. And one thing you were talking about is, like, if it were Larry Williams, and how you can, like, quote and cite him, and then you utilize my name in your discussion of where and how I cite you. I want you to understand.
I don't want to make you uncomfortable. I didn't mean to make you uncomfortable.
No, dude, you don't make me uncomfortable. I love you. I'd jump over the screen and give you a hug right now. I'd high five. I'd tackle you like your dogs would. I would tackle you like your dogs, and I'd be hugging you and just being like high-fiving you, and you're my boy, because I appreciate it, bro. We put a lot of hard work and energy, and it just feels nice, and I feel like we are ready to scale on your stage, right? I really feel like we have this foundation, this establishment. We have core content behind us, and we're ready to learn and grow. And I'm really hoping that folks understand the importance of what we talk about in core content month 1, month 4, month 8, month 12, okay? 4, 8, 1 is what? 12 and 12, right? So we got 1, 4, 8, and 12. We are going to apply some math to ICT's entire concepts with him here, with me, your host and buddy, high five, who's memorized all of it.
I love the new energy, bro. I can't tell you, I love it.
Manos, hey, Michael, do me a favor. Look at the picture Manos posted. He's my age. He's our age. He's been on a carnivore diet. He went to Greece. He's from New York. I got to meet him. And he's in really good shape, bro. He's really trying to take care of himself. And he's got fucked by the market. Manos, will you tell your story, pretty please, of how you came across ICT sconce? Well, bro, I'm just keeping it real. You can laugh all you want. We know what it's like to get hurt. You've been hurt in the market. I've been hurt in the market. And then when you find Michael, you don't get hurt as often. So that's the conversation I'd like you to lead with, Manos. Pretty please.
All right. First and foremost, I just want to say that I am grateful for Michael J. Huddleston, not only for putting me on to the right way of trading, psychology of it and everything, but the most important thing, I have gotten more in touch with God ever since I started listening to ICT, Michael J. Huddleston. That is what I am most grateful for. Number one.
Amen.
Number two, yes. Okay. I started trading about 5 years ago, just before COVID. I was dabbling, running my own business at the same time. I got a little taste of it, got lucky like everyone else. Then I got humbled. So I got my ass handed to me plenty of times. Lost figures over and over before these fucking bullshit funded accounts ever existed. I can't trade funded for whatever fucking reason. These companies, they don't work for me. I don't know if it's a psychology thing, but right now I'm actually back to work. I did a lot of demo trading. My trading is on point lately. And it's because I've been focusing on the process and not chasing the money.
Real quick, Manos, I want to add for the audience, and I want to give Michael some context. Manos has been on Trader Roundup for 2.5 years. He'd lost some funds in crypto, and he'd been focusing on demo. He'd made some good money with his food business in New York City, and he's from the Greek islands, so he's Grecian, right? So
That's right.
I'm just trying to add and build context to your character, mate, because your story is awesome and you have really been patient. You've really focused on demo because you've already been hurt. So you've been very cautious with your capital and you've really done it, I believe, the correct way. The longer that you have money, that you don't spend money, that you focus on learning, is the less you're spending tuition costs, the less scar tissue, as Michael has explained. Core content month 2 episode, core content month 2 risk management. Go watch it. Month 2.
Scar tissue is a real thing, man. No joke. I'm healing. And the fact that we did come out of the snake year and I am shedding my old skin, I do feel this fire horse in me, bro. I don't know what it is, man. It's
the energy, bro. It's space-time is what it is. It's what it is. It's the planets. It's the numbers. It's the reality. It's the simulation that we all live in. There is a level of harmony, and we are in a horse year. And so horses giddy up. Part of that is movement, and you're getting that globally, and we could delve into all of that toxic discussion, but from an energetic standpoint, from what you can control about your life, is to harness this energy, listen to right now, and tap the fuck in. Sorry, guys, I'm a little excited.
I'm tapped in, bro. I am. All right, so yeah, I started trading crypto. I made every mistake in the book, absolutely. And again, until I started to believe in the process and just remove my focus from making money and just learn how to do it the right way, I would honestly say the last 6 months, I have seen the biggest progress in my entire trading career. And it's been mostly demo. I got my funded accounts. I got like 7 funded accounts that I've been fucking hoarding. And, even on those...
You're very cautious. You're very cautious with capital.
The scar tissue is like still kind of restricting me to hit that button. But this year it's been different. And it actually I started hitting the button, not giving a shit, just trusting the process and believing in my system that I've developed from everything that I've learned from ICT and my previous mentor. Don't get me wrong. He's one of the best crypto traders. I'm not going to put any names out there, but my logo is both of them combined because I did learn from chart champions. This kid, Daniel Jordan, happens to be one of, in my opinion, the best crypto trader in the world. And
Oh, word.
I combined.
Name dropped even. Shit.
His name is Daniel Jordan, and his company
Okay.
is Chart Champions. I was
Okay.
actually in his mentorship for 2-3 years when I first started.
Okay.
And
But how are things? What are you doing with ICT now? That's the real question.
as far as what, my model?
Yeah, bro. I mean, you're 2022 model, right?
2022, baby. That's right.
You trade 2022 on what time frame? You're on the 1 minute, 5 minute.
Look, my analysis is always higher time frame. Obviously, my executions are on the 1 minute, but I don't really need to go past the 4 hour. It's 4 hour, 15, 5, and 1. That's
I
really
like
what
that.
I mess with.
Okay. Okay.
And my executions are always going to be on the 1 minute time frame. For me, specifically, I love to see the SMT between ES and NQ. If I see that SMT and I catch my change in state of delivery, that's my entry. And just like just yesterday, I took a trade. My setup came in. I posted them on my Instagram. I actually just started tagging Michael. Thank God that you actually created a new Instagram, because I used to tag some fugazi ass motherfucker, and all of a sudden I found out that it's not you. I unfollowed his clown ass, and now you got your account. So I just tagged you yesterday 3 times. 1 on my personal account and 2 on my trading account, which is called Disciplined Stoic Trader. And yeah, my trade is up there, bro. My setup came in. I took the setup, and I was actually
So let me ask you. When we say 2022, instantly rate and break and structure, inducement, retracement into inducement, follow displacement. Correct?
I want to see a sweep of the equal highs. I want to see the exactly as you just described. Then I want to see the displacement.
All right, I'm just making sure there's displacement before your entry.
Correct.
Okay.
Displacement.
Okay.
And then I
Okay.
want to see the 2022 model. If you guys know, you need to come into the 50% of that leg. A lot of times you don't get that 50%, and it just, it goes without me, and it is what it is. But yeah, that's my
Well,
main
if
model
in
is
either
2022.
direction, if you are what you are, you want to stay in the top or bottom third, right? Really? I mean, really?
Yep. 2022 has been working for me, bro. If it ain't broke, don't fix it, right?
Right. Did you have a question? Did you watch the mentorship at all today? Did you have anything extra to tap into what you're dealing with? Are you watching it right now?
Today, content his lectures in a long time, because I got to the point where I feel like I don't even need to anymore.
That's good. That's good. You're following the assignment. That just means you're a little more advanced within your learning than others. That's totally fine. That's part of it. So,
and I wasn't fully into it because I've been having issues. My refrigerator took a shit on me. So
right.
my landlord actually just came in while I was listening
Well,
to the
okay,
lecture.
let's focus on a really good
here.
I got a really good thing we can focus on, Manos. The carnivore diet and ketogenic. That's really what we were talking about more so, or why I wanted to bring you up personally, was talking about a restriction-based diet. You personally are doing a carnivore style diet, which is, I want folks to understand, when you do restriction-based diets as you get older, you can actually improve not just your digestive system, but also your hormonal health. And your hormonal health as you get older can become taxed due to deficiency and toxicity. So,
I'm 44 years old. I swear I feel better than ever. I'm
good for
you. Better than I was when I was 25, 30. Like,
oh boy, feeling like an 18-year-old again, huh?
I'm feeling like, yo, straight up, man.
Hey, good for you. Good for you.
So everything as far as your health goes, your overall, even cognitive brain function, everything is just, man, once you start taking care of your body, everything just starts falling into place.
I believe strongly that fasting has a lot to do with like what there's a higher calling to why people do it. And a ketogenic diet, a paleo ketogenic diet, really disengaging from your body's energy source, in which gluconucleogenesis, in which you are utilizing carbohydrates and glucose to function. In lieu of utilizing that, you're utilizing the fats and proteins that are in excess within your body within a ketogenic diet, right? A paleo ketogenic diet. I know this, and I like to do this because I'm one to cite my sources. Dr. James Bredesen And I say that my mother has advanced dementia. So I have had to deal with dietary aspects within her life for 2 decades.
Almost every chronic disease stems
Yes.
from sugar. Sugar
Sugar,
is the worst drug in
refined
the world.
flour. Absolutely. Refined flour, refined
Insulin
wheats.
resistance. Insulin resistance is primarily, that's the stage where every disease springs from.
That's right. So
So
for the
Michael,
body,
your
as
thoughts
far as
more.
sorry,
Okay, go ahead. Sorry, go ahead. Go ahead. I like this idea and this thought of nutrition, and I really like how that's percolating within our discussion because inputs are so important towards your output, cognitive output, right? Your performative output, super important. And I love that we have an ability to harness this discussion. Manos, you've done a great job. You've posted some receipts again, being of age and still being in good shape. I love to see it. I love that you can come to the community and really show that and speak of that. Is there anything, Manos, that you would recommend? Like, give me your top 5, like personal, like anecdotal, like this is what I like to do, this is what I recommend, and tailor it towards the community, pretty please. And then we'll move on and we'll talk to Michael about the same discussion.
all right. So we start off with intermittent fasting. I intermittent fast every day. I have a 4-hour window where I eat. Number one. So let's just start off with the basics. Your body has 2 sources of energy. It's either going to come from fat or from sugar, carbs that turn into sugar, basically. So, and when your body is taking energy from carbs, it burns it off super fast, and it's constantly asking for it. Once your
And that is
body
referred to as gluconucleogenesis. Continue.
once your body removes the sugar and actually starts to use the fat for energy, 90% of us have excess fat on us where we will not ever be able to starve ourselves. The body will access that fat and keep you going. So once your body actually starts to work off the fat instead of carbs,
So autophagy, which FX
autophagy,
for Living talked about yesterday, and that's when your body starts cannibalizing itself and it starts destroying the weakest and the diseased cellular bodies versus what is strong and healthy. So you're looking to purge or create that purge naturally through intermittent fasting, through forcing your body to cannibalize the negative of within. And that can't happen as long as you're constantly feeding yourself, both within the digestive tract, you have parasites, and then as well as your hormones have to deal with toxicity and deficiency, things that are in there that shouldn't, and things that should be in there that are missing.
the best food, the superfood is eggs. Whole eggs, and you want the egg to be a little runny. That's where you get your most nutrition from the egg is the yolk. The whites are just proteins. My diet is basically steak, eggs, butter, and I just actually learned how to make some bread with just cottage cheese and eggs. Just came out of the oven right now. Actually, I can't wait to make another steak sandwich.
So
Steak,
that would
eggs,
be
and butter, bro.
a sourdough bread, right? That's what you're referring to.
No, it's not sour. It's just cottage cheese,
Okay.
eggs. It's actually carnivore. All it is, it's 2 ingredients: cottage cheese, eggs, and then whatever spices you want to throw in there. You blend it, put it on a parchment paper, oven, 350 degrees, 45 minutes, and you're good to go. You just bake I just baked a fucking loaf of bread right now. I swear. Yesterday was the second attempt. The day before was my first attempt. I fucked it up. Yesterday, I got it on Smash. Today, I just made another one perfect, just like the one I did yesterday. And that's it. Like, if I want to eat bread alternative, because it ain't bread, it's actually full carnivore. Cottage cheese is considered carnivore. So,
Right. It's protein mostly. You're looking calonutriently as the lipids or the fats as well as the proteins versus the carbohydrates, and you're trying to consume a very high nutrient dense calorie that is high in lipid or protein based, low in carbohydrate. Right.
I also take 20 grams of creatine every day, and I
That's
also
good.
chew neuro gum every day while I'm
Which
studying,
has
while I'm working.
L-theanine. That has the L-theanine. And for those folks that don't know, L-theanine is I want you to think of caffeine, but long release. Matinine and L-theanine intuitively are similar to caffeine, but their release mechanism is different within your body. So you absorb it differently.
Yo, you're a genius, Kit. I swear to
No, I
God,
happen
bro.
to have people that I love very dearly that have been sick in my life. And I've
I
also,
died from diabetes, which is why I'm so, strict on this. Because my dad's gone 10 years now. And how
bro,
did I lose? Diabetes, heart disease, bro. It's all
yeah.
stems from
My,
fucking
my my
sugar, bro.
my father had diabetes and heart disease. My mother has advanced dementia, and my uncle had cancer of the lung, of his skin. He had every form of cancer you could possibly imagine. So, unfortunately for me, I've loved very dearly folks who have already passed or are in their advanced stages at my age of 48. My mother, unfortunately, shits herself, is in 24-hour care and doesn't know who I am. And it's very costly to care for someone that's dealing with the level of required upkeep, unfortunately, that my mother deals with. And unfortunately, that's something my brother and I deal with. And it's very, very sad when you look at your mother's eyes and she doesn't remember you. But the only heartwarming part in all of that is when you can play music and you can find something within her eye and there is a sparkle in the memory. So you don't focus on the 99% that she's gone. You try and bring the twinkle of the spark of the 1% that you still have. And I can tell you, as someone that deals with this and has dealt with it for a very long time, that's the only ray of hope you have in a situation like this. Right? So you got to find the sparkle, you got to find the good. And back to the topic, back to the conversation, and back to where we're at. We're talking health, the importance of health. I'm not a genius. I am someone that can cite sources of where and how, unfortunately, folks have been devastated by these maladies that occur all the time in everyone's life who lives in the United States. Everyone's dealing with diabetes. Everyone's dealing with heart disease. Everyone's dealing with cancer. Everyone's dealing with, unfortunately, now cognitive disease as well in Alzheimer's and dementia. And then young folks, unfortunately, are dealing with what? They're more autist because we're dealing, unfortunately, in a world that is over chemicalized. And as we get older, it's important for us to care for our hormonal and our digestive health. Back on topic. Michael is focusing on the ketogenic diet, which will have a positive causal effect on both his digestive health system as well as his hormonal health system, which as a man, as we get older, very important, and things that can tax and be waned through, again, toxicity and deficiency. So, Michael, bringing you into the topic and conversation, you're clearly passionate and educated about this. What are some things that are really bringing you to the point of wanting to do this right now?
Well, improved quality of living. I mean, what's the point of having everything you can afford to pay for and your health not be at optimal levels? So, when I crossed over into the 50s, I started feeling things that young men think that we're going to be exempt from, and you feel the diminishing effects of aging in terms of strength. Um, my I always slept very little because I just never got tired. But then I got to the point where the sleep that I was getting wasn't even giving me the rest that it used to give me. And I started waking up with my hands and my feet tingling like pins and needles. And the first half an hour walking, no matter what type of shoe I had on, it felt like I had needles all on the bottom of my feet. And I was like, okay, well, there's something wrong. So I started tracking my blood sugar, and I was seeing like 120, 125s in the morning. And I was like, this is not good. Like, I mean, these are really elevated levels. So I knew that my grandfather, and I lost a cousin on my father's side. My father's a diabetic. My grandfather's a diabetic, type 2. But I had a cousin that was type 1, and you can't correct that. That's, you're pretty much stuck with that. But I did some research and saw that you make serious changes, you can you can overcome type 2 diabetes. Not every instance and every person can do it, but it's treatable to a degree where you can prevent it. And I was in pre-diabetic stage, and I I didn't want to go the route of the complications that come with diabetes. My vision was really plaguing me. My prescriptions was jumping up 2 prescriptions in a year, just in inside of 18 months. And I was like, okay, there's definitely something going on metabolically. And I noticed I was getting skin tags all around where my neck joins my shoulders. And I was like, there's something going on in my body. Like I have to make serious changes. So I cut fruit out because I was a big fruit eater, bananas and apples and oranges, blueberries and whatnot. And I took out all of the high spiking fruits and just went down to blueberries, but having them just once a day and having them around and after I have fats. And then when I got to, I guess it was about 2 weeks of removing all that stuff. No sugar, no processed foods, just eggs, broccoli, butter. I'm literally eating about 2 sticks of butter a day. And it satiates me. It gives me like a long burn. My skin's improved from it. And I feel good. But what I did was, this was my mistake. I told my wife, I said, I'm probably going to regret it, but I'm going to come off of it in January and see how I feel. And in January, I went back to having fruit. Like I had orange juice this morning. I had been eating oranges and mandarins and bananas. And I had not a lot, but I'd have one bread item a day. And I could tell you, in the beginning, it didn't feel like it did anything to me. Week 2, not very noticeable. 3rd week of January, I was like, yeah, I don't feel right. Like I don't feel good. Not bad, I just don't feel good. And then going into February, I said, I'm going to make a conscious decision to go back to doing it again. And I'm going to do it for the remainder of the year. And I may have a cheat day during Christmas week or Thanksgiving week where I eat whatever, but that's it. So this morning I said goodbye to it. I made myself some French toast with brioche bread with maple syrup, and that was it with a little bit of orange juice. Now I know if I talk my blood sugar right now, it's going to be sky high, probably like 160. But I'm walking right now as I'm talking to you. So I walk for about an hour, and it usually brings my my glucose reading down to around 100, maybe in the 90s. But I started doing that, I think it was the last Sunday of July of last year. Week 8 totally transformed everything. Like I had, man, just if you have kids and they're in earshot, just put your thing on mute so that they can't hear me.
All you got to say is earmuffs, guys.
Yeah.
All you got to say is earmuffs. Earmuffs.
I never had any sexual problems. That was never an issue. Has never been an issue for me. But when I crossed over 50, things that would normally happen when you're a young guy waking up, and he's usually up before you are. That's always been like that for me in my life. Since I was a teenager, It was always like
that. That's healthy. That's very healthy. So,
and I noticed it wasn't doing that anymore. And I had, I'm gonna be honest with you, I have sex with my wife about 4 or 5 times a week.
My man. That's
And
the canary in the coal mine, though. You're making it a very good point, and folks should listen. This does not have to be earmuffs. We're talking about health. We're talking about prostate health. We're talking about circulation. And the things you're mentioning, Michael, staring at a screen a long time and sitting down a long time, the tingling sensation, I'm sure a lot of folks can resonate with. So what you're saying wholeheartedly, the audience, as myself, can totally identify. So, I mean, like, don't be afraid of talking about that. We're not like where we were at 18, but if you are healthy, you want to feel like that. And there are canaries in the coal mine, and that is an exactly good point. How you wake up with, full master knot is one thing to be mindful of, men. Anyway, thank you, Michael. I just wanted to add that.
So it was one of those things where I saw it, I noticed it, but I was just like, it's just, I'm getting older. It's not something to worry about. But then it started worrying me. It would I can perform, but it wasn't showing me in the morning that, hey, like I'm ready to go. And are you up now? Because it wasn't happening like that. Week 8, I was taking all processed foods out, stop eating high fructose syrup things that were in processed foods that my wife would make every once in a while. She'd say, here, try this, try this. If I wasn't cooking that night, I'm at delivery or whatever, she has had made, and I'm not going to dirty the kitchen up and cook over top of what she's already done. So these were mistakes that I was allowing into my diet. And on top of that, I was taking prednisone for an anti-inflammatory regimen because of my back. And I blew up. Like my face was swelled up, my hands were swelled up, every part of my body was swelled up. And it wasn't making me feel any better. In fact, it made me feel like shit. It made me feel worse. So I was kind of like forced into this as a last resort because like I'm not going to go on medication. I don't give a shit. If I go to diabetic, I'm not taking the diabetes medicine. I'm not going to do it because it's going to hurt me more than it would help me if I just eat better and keep myself away from the stuff that's going to screw up my hormonal balance. So I did it. The first 2 weeks was fucking miserable. Like I was miserable. You don't realize what your body's used to until you stop eating it. And you will want it. You'll get irritated focusing on like the markets or being patient with your spouse or your kids. It's going to be very challenging. But once I got through that second week, it was a little bit easier. But I noticed on the 8th week, something literally changed in my body where I was like 19 years old again. Like I would wake up, I got wood in the morning, and that's like timber, man. That's like it's straight up, ready to go. And that probably sounds weird to hear me talk like that, but I'm a man. And when I
No, it's
noticed,
super important, man.
yeah,
It really is. It's healthy.
yeah. And my wife obviously noticed. She was like, there's something different. And I was like, what do you mean? She was, are you
High
using
five.
are you using something right now? I'm like, what do you mean by that? And she was literally asking me if I was using the stuff that you can get over the counter or by prescription. I said, you know me, I'm not putting that stuff in my body. Like, I'm not going to do that. But I think it's the effects of removing all that stuff because I'm waking up, my hands don't tingle, my feet aren't tingling anymore, so I'm not having that nerve tingling that my body's saying, hey, look, that's a warning sign. Metabolically, I entered a metabolic syndrome where I'm all whacked out. Like I had insulin resistance by allowing foods that my body was being inflamed by. And I didn't realize I was inflaming my entire body until I purged it all. And I took it down just to eggs, broccoli, fish, sweet potato. That's it. Butter.
Sorry, hey Michael, sorry to cut you off, man. I
No.
just recently read that broccoli is man-made and it stemmed from cauliflower about 50 years ago. It's garbage. Don't eat broccoli.
I only eat it
Well, well,
for the vitamin E because I noticed when I wasn't eating it at all, I started getting dizzy spells, and I was
it is
seeing,
high in fiber,
yeah.
so it's really good to help you poop. Actually, in
So
following a
is
carnivore diet,
avocados.
well, avocado is
I
high in
forgot to
fat.
throw in that
It's
I
not
throw
high
in
in fiber
avocados.
though.
It
So
is.
avocados are high in fat, not fiber.
They are high in
Fiber is
fiber.
good to help you. Okay, but that's fine. That's fine. Broccoli is still going to help you poop probably as good or better than avocado due to the fibers that are there. That's why you would really the vegetables. When you think of vegetables, think of fibrous mineral fibers, right?
Well, the only two vegetables I was eating was the sweet potato, and then I started getting dizzy spells. And a physician said, "Sounds like you have a deficiency in vitamin E. Start eating sunflower seeds and broccoli." So I did that, and as soon as I started doing that, immediately the next day, all the dizzy spells went away. So, man-made
Ooh,
or
that
not,
would typically mean a mineral deficiency, and nuts and seeds are an excellent plant-based source of additional minerals. And Michael and even Manos, as we're talking about this, when you think of organ meat, that's also a very good source of dense minerals. Tubers, things like maca root, are things that have minerals, but also are an adaptogen that then affect your hormonal system. And Michael, you mentioned something, and it's really important in my opinion. And you talked about oranges and citrus. Citrus is an astringent. An astringent is going to cut mucus from your body. So even if you're adding just a little bit of lemon to your water,
yeah,
and that's what you're consuming in the morning, you're going to be cutting down on inflammation. You're going to be reducing the mucus within your digestive tract. And we all need to do that because we're so inflamed. And that byproduct of inflammation then is mucus. So the astringent, which is citrus. And if you want the low sugar citrus, then the lemon or the lime cut with water simply by itself. If you'd like to increase your metabolism while you consume this, you could add something like cayenne or
Turmeric,
habanero. And
turmeric, and
yeah,
cinnamon.
turmeric is very good. And when you utilize turmeric, it's best because it is a lipid-based, fat soluble that you also consume some form of butter. Turmeric is great with butter or anything fat-based. It's also great with something like nuts. Nuts are also very high in fat. I would utilize turmeric with cashews. And I explained yesterday a medjool date with water, cashews, and cinnamon is something I fed my father who had diabetes as a complete meal. And he would eat it and he loved it and he lost so much weight simply by consuming more plant-based, healthy fats that had higher protein levels and becoming more paleo ketogenic. And the sugars or the sweets he was consuming because he was active were plant-based, small, simple sugars, not complex sugars. Complex, refined sugars our body can't break down and become toxic. For a young man, shorter, simpler sugars, they're literally a simple it's not a complex carbohydrate, it's a simple carbohydrate. Why is it simple? Because it's raw and because it's plant-based and because it's molecularly easier for your body, for your biochemistry to assimilate and break down. Processed foods are longer chain molecules in which your body cannot break down and cause inflammation. They have a negative causal effect on your biochemistry. They have a positive causal effect on the company making it with their machine that has a net cost of next to nothing, but you yourself consuming it, you're going to get sick.
Yeah.
And you're going to deal with toxicity or deficiency, and you're going to affect your hormonal health as well as your digestive health. You're not going to acknowledge either one of these, and they will tax you. And again, I have loved people who mindlessly, ignorantly didn't have the information that we have today. That's all I can say. They didn't know.
Sadly, we've been misinformed for many years, and it's because the elites, they
Stop
thrive
calling
on
them that.
pharmaceuticals.
Stop calling them elites. They're globalists. They're not an elite.
I agree.
Globalists, exactly. They want us to be dependent on pharmaceuticals, man. That's where they make their money. They're gonna fucking feed
I
us
mean,
bullshit.
the entire critical path of institutions and corporations falling into your decision-making ability has become a systemic thing. And you're actually penalized if you do not let these third-party corporations become aligned to the critical path of your own decision making. And I say critical path, I come from the world of project management and construction. Back to trading. Why does that matter? Software, musicians, utilize process. You as a trader utilize process. You need process and procedure. Why we are all here is because the democratization of information in which Michael has been able to share with you a schematic within the market in which you can then utilize your own creative skill and force to apply a process. That process is a specification. It's a standard operating procedure, and it's come from him intuitively. It's come to him as a download. Think Neo in the Matrix. And he has made this agreement with God. And I'm here to stand on Front Street and to say, I've made that same agreement, and I can resonate wholeheartedly. And having met Michael on April 18th, 2023, and having a 5-hour Zoom call with him in which it felt like I was talking to my brother, a very good friend, someone that I've had such a long-standing relationship with. All of you can understand that. That's why we're here today. Having that long-standing relationship with Michael is you understanding his concept. And no matter where you came from or what brings you here, you're at the tip of the sword. Your intuition is calling. You're emotionally sound. You know what's in front of you. This is not easy. We're in a really tough situation. We can have an entire different conversation right now on how fucking crazy this goddamn world is. But instead, this is a horse year. This is horse energy, and we are elevating our purpose, which is to remind you that you're capable. With this in your hands, you are capable. You can do this. You need to tap into your own intuition. You need to watch. You need to engage. You need to literally follow what is the trader's journey, your calling, which requires a mentor. It also requires a mastermind. No one understands what a mastermind is until you've been through the journey. No one understands how humble you must be to this market until you've been absolutely mollywopped by it. And being mollywopped does not make you a failure. It just means you're on your journey. But then eventually, you're going to get to the other side. You're going to really understand that this skill set is a power.
If you're learning how to
In
do
the
it
long,
right now too, while it's so difficult, you can't even begin to imagine how much relief, and it's going to give you a false sense of security when we leave this high frequency, or not high frequency, high resistance liquidity run conditions, high manipulation, high like a controlled holding pattern at the market right now. When it leaves that, and you've been studying, right, looking at the things like we're focusing on, when it loosens up and it starts to have a whole lot more freedom and liberty to move around better, it's going to feel like you are Neo, because you're learning how to do this when the market's very, very difficult. And you're going to feel that shift from what you're dealing with right now. All of us are trading in the same conditions. Not every one of us is doing well. So when we go back to a very smooth, quick, easy, loose market, you're going to find that your skill set wasn't bad. It's just you were trying to press too hard, like a stagnant market. You're trying to swim in the swamp, and it's not easy to do. But your sense of urgency to try to make money right now is clouding your vision. It's forcing you to believe that you have to do it faster because you need money. When you realize, with experience, once we leave this condition, because it's not going to stay like this. So now it sounds like, it's doom and gloom when I talk about how this, that, and other things are occurring. Don't look at that and think that that's all there ever is, because you can't control the outcome. I can't make it go faster. You can't make it go faster, but you have to engage it every single day. And that way, when you get through it and you find yourself in low resistance liquidity run conditions and you're using the same concepts as you're learning while the market's difficult, you're going to realize that, yeah, I can appreciate what it's like to trade like this versus doing it like when it was harder. I'm not going to, when we go back into this again, have a high resistance liquidity run conditions. You are not going to push the envelope of your skill set in that environment. You're going to take a step back and say, I know better now because I've seen what it's like. I'm going to wait until there's easier salad days. It's going to be easier market conditions. And just remember, spring and fall, that's where your sweet spot are. That's where you push the biggest in terms of your leverage. That's when you really try to trade as much as you possibly can without over trading. But when you're not in those months, dial it back and just focus on being principally oriented around precision, being detail oriented, process oriented, protocol oriented, and not trying to be more than what's necessary.
oh, I love it. We need to bring some folks up here, guys, because we are in touch right now. Let me just tell you, it's higher power here. It's intuitive. It's energetic. You can feel it. I can feel it. Let's acknowledge it because it makes it better. Okay? Makes it better when you acknowledge it. So we're going to bring some folks up here. And I'm bringing you up one at a time on purpose. This is going to be controlled chaos. Okay? That's what we're doing. So makes life a little easier, one at a time. So Manos has been up. Thank you, Manos. We've had a great start to the conversation. I love it. We're going to continue moving, keep the conversation going, keep it flowing. Next chapter, next discussion will be brought in by the listener. We'll be picking who is coming up right now. I like the name. I haven't spoken with you, but you're a musician, and the name is Swayze JJ. I like the name fucking Swayze, if you ask me, bro. You can call me Swayze Patrick, that is. By the way, if you know who Patrick Swayze is, then maybe you come from my generation, which means that guy was a straight up gangster, right? Like, that was John Travolta. That was Elvis. Patrick Swayze was He's good. Anyway, this guy JJ Swayze, I just brought you up, bro.
Swayze's like our generation's James Dean.
Yes, yes, yes. JJ Swayze in his house. You there, buddy? We're coming out of left field with JJ Swayze. I like to screen folks, but at the same
Y'all can hear
time,
me?
yes, sir. Yes, sir. How you doing?
I'm good. I'm good. I'm good. Just studying on Saturday morning. ICT. I appreciate you for being here. I just wanna say thank you for the live stream this morning. With the one of the main things that stood out to me was the relative equal lows and how you were talking about how if Southside wasn't taken, using those relative equal lows to realize the first presented fair value gap. Um, fuck, I forgot. Sorry, but I'm a little nervous, but that
It's
one
okay.
point,
Hey, how old are you, Swayze?
22
22. Where are you from?
from Toronto.
You're from Toronto. How long have you been
Yeah,
trading?
about 5 years.
About 5 years, 22 from
Yeah,
Toronto. And then how do you
yeah.
engage with price, bro?
I just
Like
read
what's
price act, reading price action daily. Just studying ICT. I've been doing ICT since like 2023, so
okay?
I'm just
So what's
studying
your
that.
model look? What's your model look like in a room full of traders with your mentor in the room? Be a little more specific.
I have it called my New York model, ATM model. Usually at 7 a.m. to 9:30. I outline my buy side and my sell side. I have my midnight open. I have my 8:30. And I'm just looking for a run on sell side or buy side first, and then look for the opposite direction of the draw on liquidity.
Ooh, that's sexy. That
And
sounds like
today,
2025, 2024 mentorship,
yes, I
mapping
saw it
out the
play out.
pre-market.
I saw it play out this morning on the live stream, so that was good to see.
Nice.
Yeah,
Nice.
I didn't have any questions or anything. I just wanted to thank y'all for
No,
everything.
that's cool, brother. We brought you up kind of in just a mix, just to kind of see. I like bringing new folks up for sure.
Yeah,
I want folks to know if you are new that we do want to hear from you, right? I am definitely trying to screen folks. We do want to make sure that, the conversation is quality. And anyway, JJ Swayze, thank you for being here.
all right, for sure. ICT, thank you very much.
You're
Next
welcome,
up
bud.
is next up XX Monk, bro. I know you watched the
Yo,
episode. Come on in.
yeah, what's up? How you been, bro?
I'm doing fantastic, brother. Tap right in.
So I'm from India. I'll get my introduction. So I mean, many people don't know
Yes,
this.
please. Excellent. Excellent. Thank you, sir.
I'm 21 years old. I've been to ICT for like 4 years now. I have been like pretty young age, okay. And I'm a dropout because I'm just dropped out from university because I believe that it's complete BS. And I'm a monk, a true monk. Been a monk since 3 years now. And right now I'm just sorry.
You're breaking up on me just a
Hello.
little bit, buddy. Yes, you're breaking
Am I
up on me.
audible?
You check your connection. Make sure you got all your bars, G. Okay?
Yeah, I got it. I got it.
All right. Come on back. Keep going.
Yeah, so I've been a monk since 3 years, and as we're talking about health, the most important factor that brings up my mind is the state you're being in, the state of being. Like, if I tell some words like loosh, ICT might know loosh, what is a loosh, and the great reset, right? So, the globalists, they want us divided, and our mission is as a community to be one, and when there is oneness there is no division, and the wars may end and everything will come to peace. So the way only is to be one, to get one, as in the inner state of being, like not releasing lose in the sense suffering states like anxiety, depression, loneliness, fear, because all the suffering states causes all the diseases inside us, right? The diabetes you say, the cancer you say, anger causes cancer, right? If you don't know the
Yes.
facts, anger causes cancer,
So
diabetes
you're
is
you're
all.
you're addressing low vibrational energetic states as emotion. You're addressing these and you're releasing these in your definition of dis-ease as a monk, correct?
Yeah, I'm talking about discontentment and contentment. Like
Yes, sir. Yes,
right
sir. You're
now,
talking energetically.
yeah, yeah, truly, yeah. The only thing important is like taking any action coming out of contentment and not coming out of dissatisfaction is the most important thing that you have to face, and it's very urgent. It's not like you can do that tomorrow. Like it's very urgent because being in a dissatisfaction human being, you're just going to release loosh and you're going to feed the entities, and the globalists are going to take control of you anyhow because you are already releasing loosh, and
So
that is what we
releasing
all
loosh
want.
is really this negative energy, this low vibration of fear, anxiety, of anger, of depression. These are low vibrational states. And when you enter in those vibrational states, then you're allowing for low vibrational energy to come and haunt you, to kind of take over. So what you want to do as a monk, as someone who is mindful, is to meditate. Am I wrong? Am I wrong?
For me, like, if I tell you my daily schedule and how I
Please
was
do,
going
please
to,
do, please do. I enjoy this conversation very much, Muck, and I enjoy your perspective on this. Please continue.
yeah. So for me, coming into a trading day, the most important factor is taking a great intention for the whole day. A great intention means like, first of all, I'm meditating. Okay, I'm meditating. I have a practice which I will post the link of, which is called a Soul Sync meditation. It's a guided meditation by enlightened sages, enlightened masters, my masters, who have been journey with me. So in that particular meditation, at the end of that, we have a great intention that we actually feel, or like I actually manifest it. Like I'm thinking about myself following the rules. I'm not over leveraging. I'm not revenge trading. I'm following my model. If I take one loss, I'm stopping it, and I'm waiting for my like other confirmations to get into alignment, right, with the time and price. So these are the all things that I am aligning with in myself, in subconsciously, while feeling it happening in real life, and feeling a total calm of ease with myself, because I know that my model is going to play out really well if I just follow my rules and I don't go in tilt and not release loosh and not take actions out of dissatisfaction. Because anytime I go in tilt, it's always then dissatisfaction, right? You're not just you're just dissatisfied with yourself, with the system, and you're not anyway going to trust your model. You're just going to fuck it up. So most important factor is taking an
A
intention.
monk telling me I'm just gonna fuck it up sounds great. I'm sorry, I just found that funny. He's like, bro, I'm sure I'm gonna explain very in detail how to deal with meditation, but just don't fuck it up. Anyway, continue. I found that funny. Sorry, I didn't mean
Yeah.
to interrupt.
Yeah, yeah, no worries. So what I was talking is, the most important factor is taking great intention, like actually visualizing that how your day is gonna be. And I'll tell you one thing that Feb is the month that I actually started trading. Okay, so the first thing I went is I got some prop firm accounts in Alpha Futures. I don't I mean, I'm not an affiliate, so I'm just telling the names. Okay,
Yeah,
I'm
no,
not
you don't need to
affiliated with
tell the
any.
names of anything anyway. You're trading prop anyway.
Okay, yeah, I'm just setting a prop, and I just got in the prop. I passed the account in like 2 weeks, and then I was manifesting every single day that my day should be green and all the week should be green, which is not possible. I mean, I may have bad days, but I'm also visualizing that how I am overcoming those bad days. Like I'm already ready. I'm prepared.
How's
I'm
that
fucking
working for
prepared.
you, mate? How's that working for you? You're explaining
I
how to
mean,
do it.
right
How's that
now,
working? Right?
this Feb, I'm no red days. I made 7K. And I also got a payout. So that's working
Good
really
for you.
fucking well, bro.
Good for you. Good for you. I like hearing
Yeah,
that.
yeah.
I
Describe what
like
it
hearing that.
felt like
Yeah,
receiving
so
the payout.
oh, bro, I mean, it felt like magic. It's like I already knew it's gonna happen. So I mean, I just had to wait for it to come to my bank account. Like when it came, I was excited, I pumped up, and right now I'm isolated. I'm away from family. I'm just working on my trading. I'm away from my family, just with my sister in a small town, snow town. So just working, disengaged
Was
with
she the only
every
person
single
you
thing from
showed?
outside world. Yeah, yeah.
Was she was the only person you showed the payout, or you didn't tell anybody?
I just told her, yeah, I told her. She was very happy. She was really progressed. Like
How'd that
I've
make
been
you feel?
struggling a lot. She felt yeah, we finally made it, and we have more millions to make. So she was all pumped up, and we had really good
That's good.
weekend.
That's great.
Yeah, so that's it.
Anyway, Monk, I love having you come on. Michael, your reaction to what Monk is saying?
No,
Yeah,
I mean it's just wonderful. Like I think that as he was saying, you have to have a conscious intent, like predetermined in your mind what you're trying to do. And I guess what you can't do in trading, you can't do that without a model. Unless you have a model, unless you know what you're doing. If you don't know exactly what you're going to do, what you're looking for, how can you cause yourself to be in sync with the price? How could you find a rhythm, a a cadence, something that is something that's going to repeat and falls into your normal routine. The other people, when they watch it, they feel like this is superhuman. This is extraordinary. But it's just going to be your everyday Tuesday, Monday, Wednesday, Friday. It's going to be your regular thing for you. So you have to have some kind of a way of purging all the negativity, that spirit of heaviness. You need to stir up yourself. And that's what your journal. You constantly reflect on the things that you're learning. Be happy. Be appreciative that you're learning. You're getting experience, not from just what I'm talking about, but your own in your own hands. That's the real learning. That's the real work. That's the stuff that's going to find. Hopefully, if you have the right perspective, you'll look at your own experience while working with the tools, and while you're doing these things, you're encouraging yourself along the way. And then when you have someone like your sister in this case here, where you can say, look at my efforts, look what they yielded to me, look at this, and she loves you, she's your sister, and you trust her by telling her this. Don't be surprised though if you tell others and they don't have that same measure of appreciation, or like, wow, like I'm proud of you, or I'm happy for you. But I'm glad you had this experience with her and it was positive. But don't look to outward approval. Don't look to those things. You're going to find so much better sense of solitude, comfort. Right now, it feels uncomfortable because it doesn't feel real unless you show somebody else. Look what I made. I got this. This is what I earned. This is what I made. When it's in your bank account, trust me, it's there. It doesn't take anybody else around you to say it wasn't or wasn't there. It's definitely there. And when you get to that state of thinking and state of mind where you're not looking for the approval, you're not looking to show that you're sizing yourself. And I'm not suggesting that's what you're doing here at all, but in the beginning, it's normal. And you had a really wonderful experience, and I'm happy that that happened for you. But a lot of times, it doesn't happen that way for folks because we are in a time and age where people are just very jealous. They're very envious, and they're hurt because they're struggling. Everything's so expensive, and everybody's out to just do for themselves and not for others. And when you have success, the common consensus is let me share my good experience because they're going to be inspired by that. And it doesn't usually communicate like that. So what happens is eventually is you'll share your success with someone that you think is going to be maybe encouraged to want to do it too, or tell you, wow, I'm proud of you, or that was awesome that it happened for you. They don't do that. And then you spend time foolishly wasting worrying about how they interpreted what you said, and it's a distraction. So the way you remove that is be successful, find success, be content being successful without broadcasting or advertising it. But what you said is wonderful. Thank you.
oh yeah, thank
The
you.
energy, the energy's palpable today, guys. It's funny. I'm reading the comments. You guys think I'm caffeinated. I'm not. I'm standing outside barefoot, and I'm just grounded. I love it. It's a nice, beautiful, sunny day, and I feel really tapped into what Michael continues to talk about, and that's your own intuition. And what Monk brought up, what Manos is bringing up, is what I think is a very, 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 very important skill for a trader. Right? You want to try and live your best life. You want to try and detach from negative, low vibrational thought, right? That is anger, that is depression, that is fear, that is jealousy. Those are things you do not have to feel. You are allowed to release those. You do not have to hold on to those. You do not have to hold on to those feelings. You are allowed to release them. And then you can too grow. You can spiral. You can elevate. You can feel lighter. You can elevate your own thought to a higher standard for yourself. And that's why we are all here. That's why I'm here, because I want to help and encourage you for nothing. Your time and energy is all this takes. Your time in an intention economy is all it takes. Your time, your effort. That's all Michael has ever asked of you is your time and your effort. That's it.
Hey, Kit, I think it would be profitable for everyone listening that if we talked about, or maybe had when the folks come up and they talk, if they would like share if they've ever traded with toxicity in the forefront of their mind or a spirit of heaviness or anxiety about things that's not oriented to their trading or the outcome of their trade, but they bring something that maybe they got into a fight with a family member, they lost someone, that spirit of heaviness that comes in while they're trying to trade, and they try to think to themselves, well, I'm just going to shake it off. I'll just press through it. Um, whatever has come from that in individual experiences, and also what do people do and what have they found as ways of overcoming that? So when they realize that they feel that way, instead of going into their trade station and trying to trade with that mindset over top of them, what do they do? I mean, as the previous um, uh, community member mentioned, he meditates. Well, that's a very broad brush idea. My form of meditation may not be the same way you do meditation, or what 20 other people may do as meditation. Do you what things do you do to shake yourself out of that before you get into the marketplace, or you don't find a way to get out of that because you don't know? And I think that'd be profitable to include as part of the conversation today.
I love it. And we've just invited two more speakers, Jay Winters and Grimm. Welcome to Trader Roundup, to ICT Mastermind, follow up from the ICT Mentorship. I'm going to start with Jay Winters. Would you mind adding on to what Michael was saying? And then welcome.
Yeah, I'm not connected on. Can you hear me?
Yes, sir. We can hear you.
We
Hey,
hear
what's
you.
going on? Good afternoon, fellas. So, yeah, just to speak on that a little bit. So back in August, I started this journey back in January, like Manos was saying, and had a little bit of beginner luck, and well, actually a lot. I had a few dollars saved up, and still had my job. And in August, my boss just was going through a bad divorce and was just like, there's no more work, and I was in a headspace thinking like, oh, you got this. It's like you don't even need your job anymore. You're going to continue to be profitable, and it's just going to work. And and that just wasn't the case. A lot of you guys know me personally. I had a brand new daughter. She's 2. I got 3 stepkids, and the stress that put on me, trying to sit at the table every morning and think clearly on how to execute a trade. It it was the most stressful thing I think I've ever went through, and turned a $15,000 live account into I blew it. I completely blew it in less than 3 months, which is completely embarrassing to speak about, but it was
No, I
gone.
mean, it's real, bro. And it's real that you're coming to the conversation and you're saying that, bro. It's real that you're trying to step up and lead as a provider. And it's real that you're stepping up, and it's authentic as fuck that you're saying that, yo, I stepped up and I lost it. So kudos to you for keeping it real.
Yes, baby. Hold on 1 second. And the baby go okay. And then the fact that you have all these kids to take care of, and the mortgage is due, and yeah, man, it's he spoke about, he says weeping. He says weep a lot, and I can remember that. Like, I've spoke to a few guys before, being a grown ass man, in the room, literally crying to God, like what am I gonna do? What are you gonna do to make sure that these kids, aren't homeless or have the next dinner, or where's your next meal gonna come from? And yeah, man, just to throw in there too, he says he asks all the time, well, what does it feel like, when you execute? And this is the only reason that I do this, is for my daughter, man. I'm 3-time convicted felon. I can't. Masonry is all I know, and it's like I don't want to do that shit anymore. It's over with. I'm done. And I used to pray. I kept praying, like, what are you gonna do, man? You got to figure something out. And this is where it took. This is where it took me. Yes, baby, come here. Come on. And this is where Sorry, bro. My daughter's looking for her baby.
You don't got to apologize, bro. I mean, I got a picture of you. I retweeted you coming out saying what you had to say. So we got added context to your story, bro. Just you being UJ Winners. So I'm happy that you're here. You ain't got to apologize for being a dad. We understand.
The baby go. All right, man. All right. I appreciate you guys.
Yeah, dude, Jay Winters, do you come back? We'll holler at Grim and you step in whenever you want.
All right, man.
You feel
You
me?
guys have a good day.
Yeah, no stress. No
Yeah, I'm
stress. It's all
listening.
good. Yeah, we got you. We got you. You do you. Multitask. We're here too. Go with the flow. You feel me? Grim, jump in here. How you doing? 12:03. I like the time, by the way, guys. I really do.
Hey, how's it going? You guys hear me all right?
Excelente, hermano. Y tú? How are you doing?
I'm doing very good. I'm actually a little bit sick, so if I have to sip on some water, take a few
Add lemon
pauses,
to
forgive
it,
me.
G. Add a little lemon to it. Add the astringent factors that you'll get from citrus. It'll cut the mucus.
Yeah, I've got some ginger honey with
There
some
you go.
lime.
Ginger will do it too. I like ginger. Very alkalizing. It's good. It's good. It's good.
Yeah, so just I guess to share a little story. And before I do, really thank you guys for this space. Michael, thank you
You,
for everything that you've done in the space, truly.
and you know how to engage within the room, right, bro?
Nah, tell me.
Well, you give us your name, where you're from, how long you've been trading, and how you engage with price. And then I would love to hear more about what you want to add to the conversation, G.
Yeah, so my name's Edward. I've been in the space for quite some time. Been trading for the better part of like 7 years, 24. So got some good time under my belt, but definitely in the beginning I was using a lot of retail trader concepts. So I'm sure we all know how that goes. Um, in terms of how I engage price, I really like to keep it simple. I like to do high time frame IRL to ERL, which is just a high time frame, fair value gap to high time frame swing point. I like to utilize the low time frames, looking for IFEGs during key times, and I like to look for that advanced market structure, looking for that intermediate term low to form, so I have some good confirmation, and then definitely throwing some two-stage SMT in there.
Ooh, I like it. I like it. SMT is good. Anyone who's using SMT and the way Michael was talking today, and for folks who want to utilize quote unquote advanced market structure, when you look at relative equals and you look at short term, intermediate term, or long term, you're really just kind of looking at swing one, swing two, swing three. Very similar to what we talk about with candle one, candle two, and candle three. But you're looking at it, as Michael has talked about, like a wick. So you're looking at that range and that wick and that swing that's coming out. And is it going to be protected or not? And you're following the logic that's coming through all of the mentorship. I know that makes sense to you because you're utilizing SMT as well, right? So
Yeah,
you're specifically looking for where and how those swings are being created, right? It's interesting.
yeah, exactly. And I know that candle 1, 2, and 3, people have, as of recent, it's become a lot more popular. It's been kind of obviously rebranded. Everybody knows that.
I mean, bro, it's all ICT, and anyone that wants to, say otherwise, everyone knows it's ICT. It's not
Yeah,
DRT, it's not CRT, it's not the fractal, this or that. It's all ICT. It's all straight from his mentorship, period. It's all straight from his core content, period. It's through his series of trading, period. We all know that, right?
right.
I mean, as a community, we know that. But yes, there are many different flavors of the community who are trying to rebrand and somehow take ownership of his very clear concept, which none of us are doing, but we understand there are folks that bifurcate and try to, feed themselves in lieu of the concept and what trading's all about, right?
Yeah, and anytime I saw CRT or any of those things, I was immediately thinking about, like, I learned pretty much all of this in the ICT's Went series. I remember being on the chart, pretty much mapping out every single swing point that I could find, and him talking about how the open, closes, highs, and lows of those three candles are very significant. So, yeah, any of the
Do
times
you
I saw,
remember Core Content Month 5, Episode 5, Defining Swing Points? Do you remember that episode? Doesn't even
um,
open a chart, only talks about swings. M's And Gordo's, who's my boy, he talks about the same thing before he knew who ICT was years ago. And he was talking about M's and A's and how he just was counting these points and these swings. Core Content Month 5, Episode 5, Defining Institutional Swing Points. If you haven't watched it, I highly suggest or recommend you go do that.
Yeah, that one's pretty good. That's some sauce right there. I really like the Went series as well. That was probably the
Ooh, I
first one
love that one.
yeah, it's the first one I started off with. So yeah, that's my favorite thing to trade. I like to keep it super simple. I really like having a defined framework where I'm not looking
I
at
mean,
so many
sounds like you're a
things.
purge and revert kind of guy. Real classic, real classic ICT, purge and revert. Is that wrong?
Yeah, no, you're not wrong. I
mean, most folks that say they trade C quote unquote CRT and or they're counting candles, all they've literally done is put a 3 candle count on the purge and revert videos that ICT taught so long ago. It's wild to me how somehow people try to say it's anything other than. Like he's defined the process, the procedure, the schematic, all of it, and then someone wants to throw in the flavor of a different word and think that they're going to sell some crypto mentorship to the uninitiated.
Yeah, I used to get very honestly annoyed by it. I got in so many debates, and I just realized it's not worth my time. If somebody,
That's the loosh we talk about. That's a low energy vibration. We want to maintain and focus on higher vibrations. So how we do that is we focus less on the copycats and we just keep this at the Ivy League that we're in right now. So everyone else is everyone else who pretends. We're already at the upper level. Just look at the speaker tag. Anyway, continue. Not me, obviously, Michael. Everyone else is not that. So we're here, right? So fuck them.
yeah, always go for a cream of the crop, right? Nothing less.
You go from where it comes from, the source. You go from, if you have an opportunity to get an Ivy League education for free, or you can pay some schmuck a lot of money to just rebrand and copy. Come on. That's the whole point of this. That's why we're here. That's why we're here. Everything else is bullshit, and this is the truth.
Yeah, and honestly, even that I thought, Michael really was absolutely brilliant, able to help people, essentially become mentors themselves. I remember listening to, just some of the spaces or some of his old videos talking about how even if you can't trade, if you can just share your thoughts online, if you can share it in a Discord, opportunities will come to you, and I've
People learn to speak the language, but they can't learn to trade, and they found a way to monetize and create a community within the uninitiated. And again, going back to Michael's YouTube space today, in which he was talking about where and how he has received so much from his intuition and from God, and where and how folks have taken things nefariously and have tried to profit from them. He has mentioned within today's lecture that, that's low vibration. It's not good energy. They're not going to do okay because of their intention. And we just need to stay true to our intention. 12:11, I like the time. Feel me?
Yeah, and I won't even lie, I'm somebody that's kind of stepped into the mentorship position, but of course, removing any sort of nefarious, I always give credit to ICT and I always tell people, it might be dense,
Oh, so
but
we're talking to one of the many, right? So you're
yeah.
profiting from. All right, that's cool. Right
Yeah,
on.
and
Right on.
ICT has mentioned before that it's something that, he encourages so long as you're giving credit. I mean, correct me if I'm wrong, but
Yeah, no, for sure. But I mean, we're here and we're definitely here on a vibe of doing shit for free. So we're
that's
here
true.
raising up and offering the highest
This is
possible quality of anything that can be offered. So whatever you're charging for, we're literally saying is Mickey Mouse bullshit to your face, Grim, because you're here taking it from literally the author. So your Mickey Mouse bullshit that you're charging for is nothing compared to what anyone is receiving here for free. I'm saying that to your face, Grim, with love. All right?
I
can I
accept
say
it though.
something?
Yeah, for sure.
This is just a nice place to like segue right on into a PSA announcement about it. This is my stance on it. I am not against people learning how to do this, making it their own, finding their own model, their own way through it, even if it's in the early stages of their development, and then creating a community where people can watch them flourish, learn, fall, get back up, that type of thing. Um, I believe that if someone has developed a skill set with the content, they have found a way to be profitable with trading. I believe then I believe that as long as they're honest and they don't take advantage of their patrons, I don't personally have a problem with that because you've earned your position. And Kitt, when we had our conversation, this is basically what I told you as well. I said, if you ever get to the point where you're going to, try to educate, you just number one, you have to be honest. You have to be honest with them. You have to treat them with respect, but they also have to know that you have a genuine concern for their well-being and not just I want money. I want money. And there's ways of doing this without actually having anybody pay you directly. Like I make around $10,000 to $15,000 a month on ad revenue, and I barely put videos up, barely put them up. And in the beginning, it wasn't like that. I probably made like $60, $70 a month. It wasn't. It took a long time to get to this. When I put my paid mentorship pictures and stuff on there, then obviously it ramped up a lot. The highest one I ever got to was 30,000, and I never got one like that again because I talked about Christ. I gave praise to him in the post on the community tab, and immediately it went straight down from there. But yet I'm getting 40,000 new subscribers a month. What does this mean? How does this relate? If you conduct yourself in a manner where you're trying to be positive, you're not trying to reinvent something, you're not trying to get fake clout, you're not getting ahead of yourself trying to distance yourself from where you got it from. Because it's real hard. I understand it's real difficult for people to try to market themselves because here I am, the guy that's presented to everyone, and I'm doing it for free continuously. How can you market yourself to be charging when I'm out here doing what I'm doing? So the mindset is let me slowly distance myself away from ICT, and then you would get more respect. You would get genuinely more respect if you just came out and said, this is what I learned, this is where I learned it from, and this is how I use it. And then be honest from that point on. I have no problems with that. Anyone that does it that way, I could care less. Because what you've allowed for is for someone to say, okay, you learned this from who? Let me go check what he's doing. And then they're going to hear me say a whole lot of F words. They're going to hear me rant and go off and go crazy for a little while. But ultimately, they're going to say that, yeah, this guy, he didn't learn it from anybody. He got it from God. And that sounds crazy. I know it sounds crazy. But it's not me taking credit for it. And that's all I've ever asked for everyone. Like I don't want credit for it beyond the fact that he gifted it to me and I'm gifting it to all of you. So I just want to be very clear about that. Like I'm not out there saying everybody that's teaching my stuff is a piece of crap. That's not what I'm saying. What I'm saying is that there's people out there that market themselves, and it's my stuff. It's literally my stuff. It's my vernacular. It's my vocabulary. It's my terms. But yet they'll say it's Wyckoff, and they'll say it's something else. People who have wrote books, and they're still using my common vernacular and vocabulary, and they're doing their own little mentorships. They have the same car that I bought, but they wrote a book, and they put everybody else's names in there and saying that that's where I learned it from. And that's not. It's a lie. It's a lie. So if people are just genuine, they're honest, and they're sincere about their inspiration of wanting to be an educator, and they're not lying, and they're not claiming to be able to do something they actually can't do. And if you're going to sell signals, give it away for a couple months. You have no idea the amount of money that's available to that. Like it's a blank check. And that's what I'm trying to explain to you is you don't have to have money to make money when you learn this. You can start grassroots right from some kind of like a YouTube channel. In the beginning, it's not going to be a lot. But if you prove to your community that you're worth trusting, that you're consistent, you're not trying to take advantage of them, you can grow that into something as a secondary income. And then that secondary income can then be utilized to fund a real positioning account with a broker that's reputable and it's regulated. You don't even need to go through the prop firm stuff. And you have a well-rounded community perspective laid on you by everybody else. You don't have to pump yourself up. You don't have to brag about something. The community will talk for you. because you're being wholesome, you're being sincere about what you're trying to do. Because if you really care, seriously, if you really, really care, you're going to do more than what's just behind the paywall. And like, for instance, like JCap, I see him slowly distancing himself from me, but I'm not going to say bad about it because what is he doing? He's giving to the community. He's not getting anything out of it. He's marketing his own little thing going on, but I don't have any problem with that. He's very sincere whenever the name comes up. He doesn't worship me. It's exactly what I asked for. Just remember your roots and don't claim to be something you're not. And then what did he do? He went out there and he got a record payout. So that's upstanding. Everybody, whether you're an ICT perspective or not, you got to respect the guy. He's doing it in a way where it's respectable. How can you talk bad about it? And that's what I want everybody that if they're going to come through my stable and find their position in this and then grow up to be a pillar with that title, just conduct yourself. First of all, try to do it better than I did because I went the Stone Cold Steve Austin approach. That was my marketing gimmick. Okay, but you don't have to do that, and I don't want to see somebody else try to duplicate that. I want someone to come out and say, hey, look, all it really matters is this is what I do. And I care about the people that's in my community, and I'm thankful for the position that's been afforded to me. But I earned my position where it is, and I'm not claiming to be something I'm not. And just walk forward, righteously, and you'll be fine. The community will recognize it. The people will respect it. They may even hate me still, but they'll appreciate you. But you've done the right work of showing where you came from, how you got it, and God gets the glory. That's it.
The process and procedure towards ambassadorship with ICT, as described right now. So I didn't mean to shit on you, Grim, and I think Michael came in and did a great job of defining and explaining really what it is. So I apologize, Grim. I didn't mean to shit on you, and thank you, Michael, for softening my tone at least. And
I
Grim
agree
and
with
anyone
I
else
agree with what
listening.
you said though. I agree with what you said for the people that try to hide the name, pretend that they refined it, they improved upon it, they discovered it themselves, or that it's somebody else's bullshit, like Wyckoff and somebody else's nonsense. You're what you said, that's my opinion of those individuals. But we didn't really hear enough from this guy to know if that's really what it was
No,
going to
you're
be.
right. You're right. You're right. And
I
that's that
appreciate the
you're
enthusiasm
wholeheartedly
though.
right. Yeah, well, dude, you know me. I'm full of the enthusiasm. And if anyone here's got to be a dick, it's going to be me, not you. I promise you that. I'm going to be the dick, not you. So that's just what it is. If we're in the same room, I promise you that will be the case. They can hate me, and that's what it is. So it's my fault. It's Kitt's fault. All right, I'm here for it. It's my fault. So
Don't even don't even worry about it. But yeah, I do make sure to always give credit to Michael, especially, once students learn my model, they always want to venture out forth, and that's the first person I point to because, obviously it's where I got it from. So
But
yeah.
it affords you your own personality. Like they're gonna like you, they're gonna resonate with you. There's a lot of people that say, "I like your concept, but I just don't like you," and I get it. I understand. Like I get that. I'm not asking everybody to love me. I'm not asking everybody to be my student. But what I am saying is you don't realize that you're trying to hide. And I'm not saying you folks that are actually doing it the good way, or you specifically are doing this. I'm not saying that at all. But I'm saying the folks that are fearful of using my name and being honest where they got it from, they don't realize the uniqueness and the reward of having their own community say, you know what, yeah, props to ICT, and I'm glad that he got it the way he got it and he gave it to everybody. But I really like the way you use it, and it makes sense. I like you as the person. Like, there's a lot of people that love Kitt, and he doesn't do everything I teach. He doesn't use every procedure. He knows everything like a fucking encyclopedia about it, but he literally doesn't do everything. Like you hear him talk about SMT. He's not against it. He just says, I never really seen the big deal about it, but and I respect that. I respect those types of opinions because it reinforces the fact that just because I've taught it doesn't make it the gospel. It doesn't mean it's the only way to do it. And one PDRA is not better than any other one. And I try to cultivate that in the trading community so that way it releases this responsibility that's heaped upon yourself if you're going to go the route of a mentor or someone that's going to have a service or whatever. You feel like you're in some kind of competition. I say there's no competition on two sides of it. One, there's no competition. but there's no competition with me and anybody else. I'm not trying to take anything from any of you. I'm not trying to take anything from you, but I'm reminding you that you have to be honest. You have to do it the right way. You can't claim it's something else. You can't claim you learned it over here, you figured it out, because it's bullshit. Show me some broker statements where you did that type of trade with real money before you learned it from me. Nobody's going to be able to materialize that. So it's just in an age where everybody wants to have a position, some kind of authority or whatever, you can still be honest and say, you know what? I don't really like Michael. Like, I don't like the guy, but this stuff really works. And guess who gets the credit for it? The Lord does. I'm just the conduit. But when you do that, you know what that does? It communicates to everybody else that has any relationship with you, any kind of connection with you, any kind of networking with you, is you're honest where you got it from. And then you give the room the right to decide whether or not, you know what? I respect that. And while I don't like Michael, I don't want to learn directly under Michael. I like what you're doing with what he shared to the communities. And you resonate with each other. And you find what you're actually looking for, you're going to get it organically, and you did it the right way. And I'm honest with you, that's the best way of doing it. I'm not making money from it, and you're not losing any money from it, because they can see that what you're teaching is right out of what I taught if you're doing it right. So what are they going to be upset about? They have the best of both worlds. They're confirming that what you're teaching is exactly from the man, and you're doing it in a manner where it resonates with them. You have a better connection with them than I do. Why would you not want that? If you're going to have a service, if you're not going to do the, private, I'm only trading my own money, I don't care about else knowing about me. If you want to be a public figure and you're using this as a springboard into doing that, that's the right way of doing it. You're going to have a better organic grassroots revival of people saying, you know what, man, you're solid. Yeah, you're an ICT guy, you're an ICT girl, whatever. But I really like what you do with this. I like how you focus on this model, this approach, and it really resonates with me. And I don't want to do the silver bullet. I don't want to do this other dumb shit. I want to do what you're doing because it makes sense to me. And I can see what you're doing. It makes sense when you take those trades, or if you're doing setups and signals. You can trust that person because you vetted them. What they're trying to do is based on the stuff I taught. So if they have real results that they can prove to you, this is the signal service I'm offering. It's $300, $500 a month, whatever they're going to sell it for. Give it away for 2 months for free. And a lot of people don't want to do that because they just want a whole lot of money real quick. But why would you think like that? If you know what you're doing, go out there and say, okay, here's what I'm going to do. I'm going to do it for a couple months for free. You judge whether or not this is any value or not. And if you're really good, you don't advertise because people are going to talk about you. And that's what I did. I never had to advertise because I knew what I had works. I knew what I had is the best. And if you place it in people's hands, let them experience in their own hands. It'll sell itself. And if you have a personality that's presenting himself as honest, given the community, trust your audience. Trust them. Let them decide whether or not you're being genuine or not. And if you're the real McCoy, you know what you're doing, and you're trustworthy, and you're honest where you're getting it from, they can still like me or not like me, but still like you more to stay with you in your own community. And if it's something that's yielding a paywall, they have no guilt or any conscience conflicts by doing so. Is that fair?
Oh, that just laid an entire, for me again, process, procedure, specification for the community and how to be an ICT ambassador. And the idea of being an ambassador, go look up the term ambassador. That's what has been defined, right? It's not an affiliate. Notice it's an ambassador. He's carrying he or she is carrying the education and the experience that they've learned through ICT, and he's showing and explaining where and how they can do that with pride, held high, managing and running your own community, because the trading space is ultimately a profitable one, especially for folks who are looking to learn how to trade. So there is an ROI, return on investment. So if you can demonstrate that, which is clearly what Michael is saying, if you can demonstrate that there is this return on investment for folks spending time and energy with you, then claim the ambassadorship and wave your flag highly and proudly, especially after today. You know how.
Yeah, yeah, very true. And that's what I meant by, I had heard it in one of his really old spaces that, it was encouraged that if you can just start sharing your thoughts online, you know, opportunities will come to you. And that's really how I got started. You can find me posting all the way back in 2020, you know, taking advantage of, I know ICT doesn't co-sign crypto, but the concepts do work on there. So,
I go look at my 15-second post on a drill I posted today. Talk about to the tick. Whoa, definitely works to the tick.
yep,
So
yep.
anyway, Grim, nice having you
I
on.
can vouch for
Awesome.
that. ICT Concepts 100% works on crypto. I
I
started
love it.
trading
I love
crypto.
it. The community is and can speak beyond, and the mentor can still maintain. It's not anything he's interested in even really entertaining. So, keeping the conversation going, keeping it flowing. Michael, it's 12:28. How we doing on time? Are we good? We chill? You chill? I mean, I don't know. I'm just asking. We've got lots of folks here still.
We can go to 1:30. I
All
got
right,
cut it
sounds
off at
good.
then.
All right, so I just want to add quickly the sauce. I want to reiterate the sauce that Michael mentioned today for anyone who was not listening and how he was referring to the lunchtime macro. And I would love to hear other people's thoughts and 2 cents on this topic and conversation. I'll leave it at 11:30. I wonder who we can bring in.
If you don't mind, Kit, before I hop off,
Grim, I love you to death. I love you to death. I'm trying to bring in other folks. I really appreciate you.
just want an opportunity to thank ICT for everything that he's done, and most importantly, for pointing me to God. So I really appreciate you, and I wish that there was more that I could say on that, but I'm sure you hear it all the time. So genuinely, thank you, and thank you too, Kit, for bringing me up.
Rock
You
on,
said
brother.
what I was looking for. Thank you.
That's awesome. I love Grim. That was a really, really good way to segment, to affording us the opportunity to bring up someone else to get their vibe, their thoughts, their 2 cents, right? I like bringing up a person one at a time. I like them being able to breathe into the room and bring their vibe and their thoughts, their 2 cents. I really like what Monk had to say. I really like what Grim had to say. Obviously, Manos, very good buddy of mine. I value and appreciate where he's at, what he brought to the initial idea of the conversation. And then again, we like posting receipts, and Manos has got it down, bro. I mean, it's hard to say. I mean, he's tore up from the floor up, looking good, buddy. So that means you're healthy too. You're making good decisions too. So again, much love and respect. That's what we want to cultivate here. Right. So thank you, Manos. Thank you, Grim. Thank you, Monk. So we've had 3 very good, thoughtful discussions today. And we're trying to increase the energy, increase the vibe, really focus on the quality here. Synergistically, we're trying to bring up people that can indeed add value to our conversation. I like to bring new folks in as well. It's really important that we don't just simply cycle through the same folks. So, with that said, Spade, brand new. Don't know what we're getting here. How's it going, Spade? You there, buddy? Your mic is muted. Oh, Spade. He's like, no, I got it on. I'm not by my phone right now, but I'm listening in the background. It's all good. No problem, buddy. Peter, you're up next. I like the name. I like the profile. Come on up here, G. Pitar Trades, ICT trader, mentor, father from Germany. Oh, you're from the motherland, from Germany. Welcome to the Red Roundup, my friend. How you doing?
Hey, can you hear me?
Yes, sir, we can.
Oh, that's so awesome, kid. Nice to talk to you, honestly. I was just waiting so long. It's great. Yeah, respecting the rules, obviously. Yeah, my name is Peter. I'm 32 years old. I'm from Germany. I'm trading ICT concepts since 3 years. I can share a very great story, I guess, about how I got to the concept. It was definitely through Jesus. So thank you, Micah, for that, definitely. And yeah, I'm engaging price action with various models. I've studied the model 2022. I'm deploying also the market maker models, and I'm trading a little bit of the IOFETs from time to time in the silver bullets. Yeah, I'm also teaching ICT concepts in German language, but I'm an ambassador, as we discussed earlier. So sorry for talking so long. Yeah, that's me basically.
No, I love the introduction. That's perfect. That's textbook. I can tell that you've been listening, that you're absorbing what we are, requesting within our own process and procedure. And as a trader, good traders understand process and procedure. So when folks come up here and they follow the rules and they follow the process and the procedure, then they're just showing harmoniously where and how they want this conversation to go to a whole new level. So bring it, Peter. What are you looking to download, upload? Where and how do you want to contribute to the conversation, brother?
Yeah, so I watched yesterday's stream of ICT. He basically explained a situation where there is a SIBI and there's a long wick to the left side. I don't know if you could remember the stream. It was a situation where he said, look, if there is a SIBI and if there is a long wick to the left of it, or any fair value gap, if there's a long wick left to it, we are not grading, or we are not using the SIBI, we're actually using the long wick. So it was, I think, in yesterday's or 2 days ago, one of this recent 2026 streams. And I had one question. I posted it also in the YouTube comments. I don't know, Michael, if you saw it. But at this specific example, I didn't really understood, because he said if there is no candle in between, but if there's a long wick.
There was a SIBI with a displacement over this long wick, and you're referring to a class or lecture that we jokingly called John Wick. That was going to be last week. It's going to be, well, not recently. I'm going to say last week's lecture. I'm going to say it was earlier on in the week, maybe a Tuesday.
Yeah, could be.
Something to that effect, in which there was a large range wick with a SIBI. So we're going to say it was Tuesday. I don't know for sure, but I'm trying to recall from memory, and I want to say it was going to be one of these macro SIBIs, maybe coming from a 950 macro displacement to, it was a displacement to the downside at 950 from a distribution out of Tuesday's price action. Am I right?
Yes, and yeah, exactly. And my question would be, if there is a long wick, there can't be a SIBI right next to it, right? Because the SIBI is basically defined from the low of the wick to let's call this candle C1, candle 1, low of the wick. Then C2, the second candle, is actually the displacement, which creates the gap in fair value. And the third candle, the high of the wick, that creates the SIBI. But how can it be
Peter,
that
do me a
there's
favor. Do me a favor,
Yes.
because I want to include Michael in this discussion, and I already know it's getting too technical without a visual.
Sorry.
So I need you
True.
to go back, and I need you to screenshot what I believe. I'm calling from memory. I do not have this in front of me, but I believe it came out of it was bearish price action out of a 950 macro that happened early in the week last week on NASDAQ. I'm not
Yes.
exactly sure what day. I want to say it was a Tuesday, but again, I'm not exactly sure. It might have even been Monday. But we jokingly, and I don't think jokingly, I like the term John Wick. And the way Michael was providing us specific clarification and specification to the utility of that large range wick, I need you to get a picture of it so that we can get Michael into this discussion. Otherwise, we cannot have these technical discussions where you're trying to recall a very specific candle count. That's not very fair. Okay.
Absolutely. Absolutely.
It's
Yeah,
just
sorry
not fair
for
to the
that.
conversation. Because I happen to have that memory, you cannot expect everyone else to. Okay? Because I
That's
just
true.
called the exact candle and the macro that it came out of, and I'm right. And I'm right
Yes,
about the day. So you can't expect everyone else to have my recall. Okay?
that's
It's
absolutely
not
fair. So
fair.
how can I share it?
Well, you can screenshot it into the comments first and foremost, and we can
Awesome.
focus on him answering that question as he has requested via more comments with visual assistance. You can't ask a technical question without that visual assistance. That's not fair to the person who wants to provide the correct answer. He's passionate about providing not just the answer, he's giving you the process, the procedure, the standard operating. That's why he has such OCD when he talks to us, because he doesn't want to give you the wrong impression. And I understand this again because I'm very intuitively aligned with Michael. So I can speak very boisterously on his behalf, extrovertedly, even with him in the room, because he's like, yep, that's right, Kitt. Yep. So
True,
I'm
true.
saying this again with love. I need you to put something. I only see 163. Until you get it there, this conversation does not go further.
Yeah, sure.
So
Okay, I
the
will get the
John Wick
screenshot.
conversation that we had last week, Tuesday's Sibby on 950's macro, you're referring to what was talked about. You didn't hear the specification, or you were concerned, you're questioning what Michael discussed in the space that we had on Tuesday?
No, my question was basically, I wanted to understand it correctly because it is a very important information
Well,
he
going back,
mentioned there.
I understand what he's saying. So, Michael, I do not mean to speak on your behalf, but I want him to go back to rejection block core content month 4. And I want you to go to the latter episodes of order block theory. And I want you to look specifically at the episode of rejection blocks where Michael does discuss wicks. What does he say happens at the CE of a wick, at a large range candle, which is mostly a wick and a large range body? What does he say in rejection block, in order block theory, core content month 4 in 2016? Do you recall? Because I
Yeah, I
do.
can. I
All
can.
right.
I can.
Pretty please.
Yeah, so if you have a rejection block, that's usually the high of the candle and the highest body that frames the rejection block. The midpoint would be, since it's in order block theory, it would be a mean threshold. So you
So the
don't want to
order
see
block is from the 50% and below, correct? And the inefficiency is from the 50% and above, correct? And if the sensitivity of that order block for it to act as that order block with the range will be within the quarters as defined. Way back
Yes,
when in 2016, you already understood that the third and the quarter was going to act as weakness towards that range for bearish price action, or bullish price action was going to offer sensitivity in the top quarter, in the top third, as defined in
absolutely.
rejection block theory and advanced wick theory, as Michael is speaking about this year. So
Yes,
John
absolutely.
Wick,
That's
what you're referring to, this array that was brought up last week, you're looking at a large range SIBI, but a large range wick behind it that would negate it from being a SIBI. But it did not negate it from being a SIBI because the 50% of that wick and below was inefficient. Therefore, the inefficiency within the SIBI made it worth grading, which is where you will find the optimal entry on the opposite side of the curve when you are in a buy side, correct?
oh, yeah, okay, now it makes sense. Yeah, okay, I got it. Thank you.
So, Michael, I
Yeah.
did not mean to speak on your behalf at all. I just happened to recall the conversation.
I, I'm going to segue into another new principle this year. And behind the paywall, when I was doing mentorship, I started teaching the concept of redelivery rebalance. And what this actually is, when it's a wick that has a SIBI by expansion lower, okay, what that is it's redelivered range expansion. So in other words, you're seeing the back and forth with the, okay, imagine this. Okay, you're looking at a 1 minute candlestick, 1 minute candlestick at 9, just so to sake of following along easier for me teaching it without a chart in front of me. It's 9 a.m. that creates a long wicked candlestick. Beneath the body of the candle at 9 o'clock on a 1 minute candlestick, it's a long wicked portion of that 1 minute candle. Immediately, the next candle is a down closed candle. And it may or may not go below the 9 o'clock wicked candle's low. If it goes below it, there's a certain context around using that. If it doesn't go below it, there's a certain context to use it there as well. Whenever you got to look at what's the candle before that wick candle. So in other words, you'd be looking at candlestick 859. What is the candlestick low on that candle? Then you have that candle with the wick, and then the next candle, it's a SIBI that it kind of like overlays that wick. It may or may not break the wick candle's low. There's criteria with that. So what's actually happening is it's redelivery inside of the range that creates on that wick, and then the next candle, it created the SIBI. It's shooting down. It's sell side delivery. It's going lower. It's range expansion away from the back and forth delivery inside of that wick. Whenever there's a condition where, like in this case, 9 o'clock is the wick candle, 9:01 is the SIBI, And we're looking at the low of the wick and the relationship of that wick. And then the next immediate candle at 9:01, if it's a down closed candle and its expansion is lower, if it trades below the 9 o'clock or wick candle's low, that's an institutional ortho entry drill set up immediately by itself. But if it doesn't create a SIBI that doesn't violate the 9 o'clock low, that can be used, but it's going to be used predominantly on the gradient levels of that wick, not the imbalance candle, not the expansion lower away from that range or gradient levels of the wick. Trust when I tell you that I'm going to talk more about this concept and what I meant by it, because one concept is not enough to satisfy it. And I've got a lot of concern, a lot of interest in it. It's because it's a new shiny object. But I will have more to say about it because it requires more discussion about certain things. And you see, I'm doing live streams, I'm teaching, I'm talking about things, I'm calling before it happens. So just permit me the time in the course of the week where I'm navigating as a man of family, and then finding my time to be able to do this and do what I'm doing right here. I'll get to it, I promise you, but just don't expect me to be able to satisfy the answer for you in this setting, because it's impossible for me to do it in just a paragraph
We
or even an
understand
hour.
that, and that's very, very fair. That's very, very fair for you, and I want you to feel relief. I want to come in here, and I want you to feel that relief because I know how your OCD is towards defining these processes and procedures. And I know how it weighs on you to ensure that people understand it. So I want the community to understand. Essentially, Michael's saying, you're going to hear this on the YouTube channel, and you're going to hear this within the content of 2026. And advanced wick theory is going to fall more in line with more expansion and market maker kind of models and concepts within what we're looking for from a buy side of the curve, sell side of the curve, up model or down model. Is that fair? Just in trying to be a synopsis of what you're saying, bro?
Yes, and it'll just help you understand certain points of price action that's going to have a greater deal of importance or significance placed on it, and what you're supposed to look at it with in terms of understanding what it should or shouldn't do. It's not just simply, here's a fair value gap. Everybody can see that. It's a pretty simple thing. But what happens when there's candlesticks that share the same range, but one's a wick and one's an expansion after that? And if it forms a SIBI, because you're looking at, if the candlestick that creates the wick, we'll call that candlestick 2. What's candlestick number 1? Immediately to the left of it. If that candlestick's low is higher than the wick candlestick's low, and then you have a expansion candle that's the next candle over to the right after that wick candle. You see how this is very difficult to explain. I know some of you are thinking like, what the hell is he talking about? Because I'm having a hard time describing it where it makes sense to you.
It makes sense,
That
brother. It does. I can tell you it makes sense.
the wick candle, the number 2 candle, essentially what is it doing? It's going up and down, and it creates a balanced price range. And then the next candle, if it's creating a sell side delivery where it has a down closed candle, it may or may not break that wick candle low. And based on that criteria, it could either be trading up into that inefficiency, but not measuring. In other words, we don't want to run any measurements on that range. We're going to go right to the wick, to the left of it. And because the concept of redelivered rebalance, that is going back into an area where it looks like it's passed through a couple different times. So it might not even look like a fair value gap to you, but the algorithm is going to refer back to that because it's performing a specific function, and it's treating it either as a return to the lower half of the wick, because if it's bearish, it's only going to go at the consequent encroachment of the wick and not any higher, and then sell off and disregard any measurement of the down close candle to the immediate right of it. Or if the down close candle after the wick candle pierces the previous candle of the wick's low, then it's going to be an institutional RF entry. And don't even consider it going back to consequent correction at all. Just take one tick above that would form a return back into that sell side and bounce. And then that could be your entry for a short. I understand what you're suggesting, that how can it be a fair value gap because if this, that, and the other thing, because you don't know about the concept of redelivered rebalance. And that concept is trading inside of single candles, but treating them as if they were trading ranges. in its back and forth balanced price range.
That's the breath of a
So
candle. That's the breath of
yeah,
a candle. One more time with how you've already read. I mean, going over literally your mind process when we go over you doing this on the sub 1 minute chart. You're literally describing it right now and how you're going to be teaching it. And it is the breath of a candle. That's the only way I could describe what you just said, Michael, as a student. It's pretty cool.
yep. Just in short, I will be revisiting that and a couple other new things this year.
Ooh, that's exciting. That
That's
is
awesome.
super exciting. So, Peter, we're still with you, brother.
Yeah.
And is there anything else? Is there any breath? Is there anything that you would also like to contribute outside of these very technical things that we've gone over a little bit? Like, I just want to bring it back to you, bro. Do you got anything else?
Yeah. So first of all, we are in Germany. We have, I don't think we have a large ICT trading community. So first of all, I just want to say from on behalf of all German ICT traders, thank you a lot. Also, Kitt, thank you. That's a great space you are providing here to actually ask questions. So on behalf of all German traders, a very big thank you. Yeah, the ICT
Thank you
concepts
for that, brother.
obviously. It's my pleasure. It's my pleasure. I saw your dogs in the videos, and I heard them so often in the videos in the background. And you helped me so much, and a lot of people I have helped with your concepts. A lot of people who actually you need to understand. Look, they are slowing down your videos 2 times, and they are showing the subtitles, and they try to understand it. It's very hard for them. So I'm very grateful. You changed my life. Jesus changed my life. I could talk 30 minutes, but want to respect your time and all the time of the people here in the call. Kid, by any chance, if in one of the future spaces there is time for me sharing a little bit, I will be more than happy to jump in. But for now, I got everything, and I just want to say thank you a lot.
Much love, Peter. And for sure, we can definitely, I enjoy having you back up. And go ahead, Michael.
Thank you very much for taking the opportunity to lift up his name here, because that's the currency. That's what I want in exchange. I want appreciation, and the glory go to him.
Awesome. Yeah. All glory to Jesus, my friend, my brother. See you. Bye bye.
Man, it is so good to see such a collective group of people kind of quote unquote follow the assignment kind of with the same energy. I mean, I'm pretty sure everyone today has offered some form of gratitude to Jesus, to our Heavenly Father. And I know that's following the assignment. That's what students of Michael, they're, again, when we follow the process and the procedure, in my opinion, it makes it painfully obvious that you know what you're doing. So I personally want the community to understand that I'm very loud and just simply trying to follow the process and the procedure of what a mindful, conscientious ICT trader would do. Someone who's been listening to this man for over a decade. Someone that's really, really tried very, very hard to unlock and uncrack the ICT concept, but also myself within. So all of us can relate to that. It's not, there's not a me within that. There's a we. And constantly referring and refracting back to the we makes us stronger. It's never me, it's always we. And we're a collective consciousness. We are one. And we can accomplish more together than we can alone. All right? That's extremely important that you even reaffirm that here. You're saying these things to yourself. You can feel it.
Yo, Kit, one of your terms that has always stuck with me. We rise by lifting others, bro.
Yes, sir. That's a part of our mission statement. We rise by lifting others. We are stronger together than we are alone, and the markets will provide. Those are three things ardently that I have come here and reiterated within the space as being our values and what we hold strong to as a community. So you want to have those things, those values, and you want to have that intention, and you want to strike forward with that intention, and you want to lead with that intention. And I can just say very fortunately that I had a father and an uncle who unfortunately died very quietly that no one ever saw, but who really, really provided a breath of clarity and wisdom and guidance in my life where I otherwise would have been a lost soul. And I know that there are a lot of lost folks that don't have that love. And we're here just to try to embrace, hold our hand out, shake, and understand that we're here for you. We understand not everyone is blessed with an abundance of love and structure and understanding the best way to do anything, let alone in trading, but in life. And when you can get folks that have done okay, when you get folks that they have moral character, people who live by their word, that's what you want to do. You want to live by your word. That's so important. The currency is what you speak. The vibrational energy that comes from your larynx, your voice. This is not just a conversation. This is how you talk to yourself. This is how you talk to others. This is an interpersonal thing. Okay? This is an intra-personal thing. Intra. How you talk to yourself and how you talk to others. And as a community, it's very, very important that we are at least cognizant that we are feeding this. Michael.
In concert with what you're saying here, I really want to take a minute to just stress the fact that a lot of you really don't appreciate as much as you would if you didn't have it, you never had experienced it, the fellowship that this community provides. You said, it's my community, but it's our community, and you really built it. Like, you made the stage, you presented it as a meeting space, and you've managed it longer than I was aware of. And honestly, I wish I would have known about it sooner, because I would have been a part of it sooner. And the camaraderie, the fellowship, the encouragement that members that get from being part of this, and when they make a mistake and they are honest, they say, "Look, this is what I did. I blew it. I was trying to do this or trying to do that, and I wrecked myself. I blew this account, or I suffered a lot more losses, this is how I'm feeling right now. I'm feeling kind of defeated." And everybody kind of like comes around and says, "Hey, look, lay hands on you and say, this is normal. You're going to come out of this. This is the end of it. Okay, this is part of the process, and you'll be up here in weeks to come with some kind of a victory testimony, saying that a couple weeks ago I felt defeated, man. A couple weeks ago I didn't see the light at the end of the tunnel. I just felt like I was losing all connection to what I was doing. I lost the plot, and I got recalibrated because all of you encouraging me. I listened to other people talk about what they went through, and I'm not the isolated incident. I'm not an island unto myself where it only happens to me. And they got through it too, and this is what they did to get through it. And no one's blaming me for making a mistake here. No one's holding me to a high degree of perfection that it's not obtainable. It's not realistic. And I think that part, think about when people are struggling with substance abuse, where do they go? AA, something to that effect. Okay. And what are they going there for? They want to see what other people are suffering through and what they're doing to overcome it and what's keeping them going. What's their why? Why should they feel better? Why should they get better? Here, we're not talking about just technicals. We're not focusing on money. What am I going to buy with my new payout? What can I drive around, look flashy, and look smart, and look rich with? You don't hear that stuff talked about here. And I love that. That's why I'm here, because if that shit was going on, I wouldn't be here. What I'm tapped into, and I think is beneficial, and a lot of you may not really appreciate it. Some of you do. The ones that come up and say, "You know what, I really appreciate this. I love being a part of this," and they thank Kitt for it, and I think that's wonderful. You should thank him, because what the fuck's he getting out of it? He genuinely cares. He wants to be part of the community. He wants to be a part of something that's thriving. And I love that. And honestly, if this was anybody else's concepts, I would still be like, you know what? Go here and take a look at this, because what they're doing is awesome. This is really, really good. Like, this is a good community. It's a fellowship. Nobody's trying to be the leader of it. Kit, he has to, moderate a lot of times. But other than that, he's given liberal access to everybody to come up and say what they want to say, as long as it's not a commercial for some dumb shit. But it's wonderful. Like, I think it's absolutely the right thing. The people need to be a part of it. More people part of it, the better. And it's organic. It's wonderful. And I think that if you didn't have it, if you didn't hear other people's struggles, it would probably feel harder for you if you didn't have it.
Thank you for those flowers, Michael. I think we can all relate with how difficult it is. And having each other is a support, and having that energy, having that trust, it's really important. It's able, to me, it's been able to really foster and cultivate just a confidence within my own life and with how I move within the market that um, it's been transformational. And I don't know what I would be without it. And that has everything to do with what Michael's given us. And that's also been what this entire community has given to me, being the nexus of the vortex of all of these people within this collective consciousness. You'd be shocked at how I have been, Neo, and how I've been able to download so much from you. And it's been a very, very, very revealing thing. And it's given me opportunities to, literally be manifesting things that I never, ever, ever thought were possible. But we are living and manifesting our lives. And I'm here just to say I'm a regular trader just like you, and we are manifesting it. This is a manifestation of mine. You're living my dream right now, guys. You're living it. This is my dream. All of this is the culmination of having dead folks on the other side that love me and that are giving me an opportunity to be a conduit of their advice. And you're going to get a lot of tough love. You're going to get an angry version of someone that just wants to see you succeed. I don't mind being that guy here. Michael is far more. He might be that way with his kids, maybe in private a little bit, but that's not who he is, right? I'm a little bit more of, I don't know. I'm just one of you guys, and I can just say I've been through it. So that's it. And we're all here together. And I appreciate the flowers, and being who and what we are is just going to make us better. And coming to the market every day and coming to help other people every day is what it is. And when you can let that energy flow through you, and you can actually resonate and help and feel how you're contributing towards the other people's success, that is enough. That's enough. That's why we're here. That's it. So keeping it going, keeping it flowing. I will say, and I posted about it earlier, something that you guys might not get to see, but it's something I know that Michael understands this, and I like to convey this, is the amount of folks that I talk to from developing countries that don't speak English as a native language, who are really doing their best to just aspire to be a better person, to incorporate these concepts into not just their life, but also on the charts. And I say life and then charts because it's bigger than just the charts, right? Most everyone I've talked to, the strongest impact has been from folks that are really feeling it, man. Really feeling it. You thought your life was bad? I promise you, I got some folks whose life is a lot harder in my DMs. And when you get to see that reflection, and again, I know Michael gets to see that every day. He gets such an amplification of folks who are both the gratitude, but then also, you get a clear understanding of where they're coming from. And again, the importance of what the market can be for them. So this is a ray of hope. This is a ray of light. And that positivity, that ability to demonstrate that it is possible, it's all some folks have. It really is. And I can tell you, even now, you want to get me jazzed up and fired up. It's really seeing these concepts in other people's hands. And when you get to hear about it and talk about it, and that's why we're here, and that's what we're going to get back to in the last 30 minutes of this conversation, is how are these concepts in your hands? How was the conversation that you heard from Michael? Because it's saucy, it's getting really good, it's getting really powerful. But how are you utilizing these things? Michael wants to know how you're utilizing these concepts in your hands. How are they impacting your life? How are they impacting your decision making? And how are they, most importantly, affecting those who you provide for? That's what I would like the last 30 minutes to be. And that's who we're going to bring up next. That's the conversation I would really implore or appreciate. Come to the table. Parth Bot. Welcome to Trader Roundup. How you doing? ICT Mastermind. Are you up for the conversation?
Can you hear me?
Yes, sir.
Thank you very much for the opportunity. So, my name is Parth, and I started trading ICT concepts 2 years ago. But I started trading at least 5 years ago, and I did everything that everybody does, basically support and resistance and all the retail garbage. But after I found the ICT, it has definitely changed for better. And I'm somewhat break even right now. And in November, I got laid off from my work. And after that, I'm just continuously doing the ICT 2022 mentorship. And currently, I am paying my bills all right. And I'm just on my path to profitability.
Good for you, mate. Did you have anything you wanted to tap into the conversation? Anything you wanted to add? A question? Whatever you'd like to either upload or download from this conversation, we're here for it.
Just one thing I would say. I recently saw the video of Michael sharing that the wick projection and the gradients of that. I actually found that 6 months ago, and I am continuously studying that. I can share you one example of that based on the recent activity. On the weekly chart of the February 1st of this first week of the February, if you see the down week, I graded that with the quadrant of one, and from that it has never low. The price has never moved lower in the this past 3 weeks from the 50% of the consequent encroachment level. From that point, I think that the pricing's being held over there. I didn't know why, but Michael revealed that when he showed us the gradient levels. So that was my finding.
Beautiful. Did you have anything else that we could build on?
Currently, as of now, no, because I haven't actually outlined the questions that I wanted to ask. But I don't want to take too much time right now. If I have anything, I'll let you know and let Michael know. And so far, we are blessed by the Michael, and that's it. Thank you very much.
Thank you so much.
That's a good job, Parth. I think you did a good job of coming up here, and I appreciate that. We'll bring up next. Who do we got? I mean, Demarcus. I like your profile, mate. Come on up, Demarcus. You there, mate?
Yeah, could you hear me?
Yes, sir. We can.
All right. Just stepping back inside real quick. Man, appreciate you for bringing me on. I know I told my story before, so I won't get too deep into that, but I really, I really wanted to bring it back to what ICT asked about earlier, with people bringing outside emotions to trading, and how that could affect you. And this past trading week, I had like a kind of like breakthrough moment in my journaling. Um, I'm kind of at like a break even right now, being a break even trader, and I started this account this week, made some profit, and I was up. And one night, me and my girlfriend got into it, and the next
Oof.
day, um, like I'll just say this: like
You
when you love somebody and y'all aren't seeing eye to eye, it's gonna affect you. You know what I'm saying? And
I think that's a very good observation. So what happened? You got in a fight with your girl. You
no,
came to the
all right,
market. What happened?
okay,
We
so
already know, right?
yeah, so what I realized is, all right, I mean, I got in the market and it doesn't affect me uh analyzing wise, I still had a great trade, made my profit for the day, but I got careless. You know what I'm saying? I got careless, got back in the markets, and risked my whole account and ended up blowing it. And I
Oh
realized,
shit.
like, yeah, it's a pattern. Like, this is a pattern. Like, anytime, and I knew what I was doing. Like, in the back of my head, I know, okay, I got the money to fund back up if I blow it, but I shouldn't be doing that. You know what I'm saying? And I'm just being transparent, and just I wanted to answer ICT's question and bring it up, like, yeah, this is something I really just experienced and I journaled it and realized like it's a pattern. Okay, like I know it's not good bringing outside emotions to trading, and I don't let it affect me analyzing wise. You know what I'm saying? But when I make my profits, it's like I'm not satisfied, get careless, and yeah, yeah.
I think when we have these experiences and we're inspired to, or at least trying to be responsible and accountable by recording them and logging them and journaling them, so that way we can track our own vices, the things that we are unaware of, that are entrapments, things that get us caught up on things that don't really matter that much, but subconsciously we elevate them to monumental feats that we have to overcome. It's really important to keep a balanced life. And obviously, I'm constantly wrestling with my flesh because as ICT, I'm dealing with a lot of personalities, and I'm frustrated because I want to help everybody. And because of that frustration, I don't think I do enough. Like, I don't think I do enough. And I think when I'm away from all of you, I have all these new ideas, new things I think that are going to be helpful to like bridge the gap. And that's a toxic thing for me. And when we get into arguments and fights with our significant others, even if the argument gets settled and you're not fighting ongoing anymore, the hurt's still there. Maybe we've said things that we shouldn't have said. We can't call them back. We can say we're sorry, but they may say, "Yeah, I forgive you," and I forgive you, vice versa. But that toxicity, that hole that's been punched into you, you want to feel good. You want to feel better. And by inviting that type of stuff in your life, even when you do things right and you follow your model and you follow your plan and you do everything you're supposed to do, that win that would have otherwise felt very encouraging because you stuck to your model and it was exactly as you thought it should be, it's going to feel like it's nothing. It's going to feel like you didn't do enough. It's going to feel like it's void of any kind of victory. And what that does is, and the enemy uses that, he uses that vacancy in appreciation to slide in a sense of you need to do more. You think that's good enough? You think that's good enough? It's not good enough. Yes, you think that's good, like you've done something extraordinary. Go in there and do it again because it could have been luck. And then what do? We give into that entrapment because we are suffering because of what we just did in our personal life. We argued, we fought, we did something that we shouldn't have done. Maybe you made a mistake and got fired, didn't live up to your expectation, to your boss's expectations as an employee, and you got caught out on it and said you can't be here anymore. It could be an extreme thing, worse than that. Maybe you're a young man and you were not sincere and monogamous, and you stepped out of that relationship and you got caught doing it. Now what you're in a state of mind where they don't want to be with you, or maybe they want to be with you, but they're not going to forgive you, so they're going to punish you. They're going to be with you and punish you. So you're going to be in a toxic relationship. You caused it, but you're going to try to find fault in that person because they want to punish you for having hurt them. And you have this vicious cycle of constantly trying to remove yourself from that uncomfortable state that many times we create for ourselves. And by having a balanced lifestyle, not trying to be drama, avoiding all kinds of drama, living balanced, living a blameless life is very important because it will allow you to be neutral to the outcome of the trade. You're not dependent on the trade being profitable. You don't care. It's a binary thing. You're taking the trade because the rules are there. But if you take the trade, but you have carried into the trade a negative stimuli and this heaviness, this cloud of anxiety, and you just want to feel good. Just give me a release, man. I just want to feel good. Let me have a winning trade. But what happens is, even if it happens, it doesn't satisfy the palate. It doesn't satisfy that. The flesh is still hungry. It needs to have more satisfaction. So what do you look to do? You trade with larger leverage. or you go right back in because you think it could go a little bit more and you didn't get out at the right time, and you're not making good conscious decisions. You're outside the model. Now you're chasing emotional stimuli. You're trading your emotions. You're trading your physical pain and discomfort, seeking an emotional or psychological reward or escape from it through winning with money, through winning by being right. And you've now lost the plot about what profitable, consistent trading, what the model is.
Damn.
Man, um, no, yeah, you
Yeah,
hit
let
on
me add
point.
to that 1 second, man. As far as it all comes down to discipline at the end of the day, and that balanced lifestyle that you need to have in life, working out, eating right, all that helps. Discipline and consistency are the two rarest qualities known to man. So, my personal opinion, the fact that I wake up and I get into a routine with my meditations in the morning, I sit in silence, I pray to God. That's the first thing that I do is I express my gratitude for another day on this earth. Number one. That alone is going to help. And then routines, just habits. Everything becomes a habit, as far even down to like when I get up, I do my meditations, I drink my liter of water with my salt first. I'll go do my first workout. I'll come back upstairs. I'll do a little analyzing on the chart. Potentially, I'll do a second workout. I'll have another liter of water with my electrolytes. And then I'm going to sit on the chart and I have a schedule. I don't trade past 12 o'clock and I don't really trade before 9:45. And the only reason I'm actually able to stick to my rules is because I've disciplined myself to do all these little things, these little habits throughout the day. And the balanced lifestyle is the only way that you're going to be able to maintain that. Otherwise, you're going to be going off the rails every so often. My brother, my friends, we all do it. I've done it for such a long time. This year was actually the first year where I was able to stick to my rules. I take the L. Just like Friday, I got stopped out to the tick on that new week opening gap. And then it went to the tick to my target. And what did I do? As soon as I got stopped out, I shut down the computer. I went to the gym. I'm not going to sit there and fucking chase that move. I knew it was going to happen. I saw another opportunity to get in the market, and I didn't take it. Why? Because I'm disciplined. And I know that discipline over time is what's going to get you to how you're going to get to where you want to be. It all comes down to discipline, guys, and it's not easy. I know. Believe me. That's all I wanted to say. Since we were on the topic of being balanced and
I love it. You got the
you know,
receipts, bro. You posted the picture today, man. I mean, when you can live it, when you can breathe it, when you can demonstrate it, I mean, clearly, if you're maintaining it within a physical dimension, there's a very good chance that the emotional, that the mental, that the spiritual is going to be in sync with how you've been able to really rev up this physical side. The physical dimension is going to be able to crush managing stress. When you're in good shape, you're going to sleep well and you're going to just crush managing stress. You're not going to get phased, right? Managing stress, drawdown, what the fuck? Who cares? Shit's going wrong. Life's pear shaped. What do you do? Fire! Problem! What do? Cortisol spikes? You just sit there, you're chill, you're good. I mean, I can tell you, the longer you live and if you progress within some type of corporate ladder of your life, you tend to manage more money and you tend to manage more people. When you manage a lot of money and you manage a lot of people, which clearly you understand how I've done the last 3 years of this, how obvious it is that I utilize executive thinking to manage large amounts of money in the form of construction, right? The same way that we have folks here on this call and we have this long format conversation, I would run this same style call on Microsoft Office, on Teams, not on X, but the exact same conversation with architects, with engineers, with construction professionals, with interior designers, and we were spending about $100 million. And guess who was responsible for time and price? This guy. So guess who was in charge of most of the talking and leading for others to thrive, to drive, right? I drove the conversation. That's what we do here. I get to drive the conversation, right? But you get to thrive in where and how you're able to tell your story, right? Because that's really what matters. It doesn't matter about me. I'm not the main character here. You are. I'm just fortunate and blessed to get to drive, to get to lead, right? And when you get to do that, that's where, you can really build and create synergy. And you can really create what we're doing here in a mastermind. And you can really coalesce. And with Michael, we can scale. The idea is really to scale. How large can we be? How impactful can we be together to help each other master ourselves within the market? That's why we're here. That's beautiful. I mean, we've all invested so much time and energy. It's poetic. And you have each person that gets to come up and tell their story. Next up, we have GPRT. What's going on, G? How you doing?
Hey, Kitt, can you hear me?
Yes, sir, we can.
Hi, Michael. Hi, Kitt. Good afternoon, everyone. So, I just wanted to talk about the appreciation of risk and what Michael taught me about it and how like literally impacted it. And I think that has changed the trajectory of where I'm going because I started in the markets at the beginning of 2021 in the crypto markets, and I just got lucky, man. I just got lucky.
I appreciate that humble admittance.
I just got lucky, and that luck ended in spring of 2024, where I did accumulate like a fairly large amount of money, and then like I didn't take everything out,
You
and
didn't take profit. You started making plans with money you didn't have
yeah.
because you thought, right?
Yeah.
And
So
then
I
what?
mean, like,
And then what?
I did take a good portion out,
Definitely,
but
but you've also left a little,
not the
right?
life changing ones, right? That would have been, and that led me to some really dark moments, man. From April until September of 2024, that's when I discovered like the entire ICT space, right? Because I was doing drawing lines. I was following other two people that kind of like gave me some like good things that could work, in a bull run. But when things get tough, they don't work anymore, And I started really going deep on the entire ICT lectures. I went through all core content, 2022, 2023, and when Michael was talking to me, especially in the 2023 mentorship, which I think that to me today, it's I don't know, probably because he was speaking to me, all those like encouragement and appreciation of risk. And you gotta start small, and like when he was talking about the money management, then there was one line where he was saying like you have zero money management skills, and then when I literally saw myself all that money that dwindled from those altcoins bleeding almost to zero, and i I
Quick question. 2023, was the emphasis 10 pips, 10 handles? Was that where the introduction was, the small runs? Was that 2023?
no, it
Okay.
was,
I could
yeah,
be wrong.
yeah, it was
2023, the
more.
emphasis was, for the folks that might not know, what was the emphasis?
Yeah. So it was more when he was talking about the FOMC delivery, the two stages, and I think
Okay.
there is
Okay.
a piece inside like 10-15 minutes where he goes about, managing risk and like start small and all that stuff. And there was
So was this an episode that you can recall, or that you can easily recall, that you could maybe post into the chat for me?
I have it in my notes, but I believe it's the FOMC delivery, and I think it's towards the end.
Of
Yeah.
2023. So
Yeah,
2023
2023
is going to be
mentorship.
November. No, it's got to be October, early November, FOMC maybe.
Yeah, yeah, yeah. I think the title is FOMC delivery. Yeah,
Okay.
yeah.
So I'm going to presume it's in October of
Uh,
2023, maybe
yeah,
September.
yeah. I don't remember because I'm on my phone right now.
No,
I
that's
have
okay,
the
but you'll
Google
post
Doc.
it in the chat for us, right? It's either
Yeah,
going to be in the beginning of September or the beginning of October of
yeah.
2023.
It should be one of those episodes in that time. And all. Yeah. So and like since then, like it's been life changing for me because I believe the overall it saved me from a lot of years of hard pain because man, like
How have you
it
been
was.
applying the risk management specifically, GPRT? That is a
Yeah,
fascinating discussion you've led with.
yeah. So, well, first of all, like I've started pretty much from September till March, right? Just pretty much started and applied myself with no risk involved, and then I
So
opened.
you've
Yeah,
really, really treated this as the master's level degree. You've taken the
yeah,
time to really treat Michael as a professor,
a hundred
and you've
percent.
decided to utilize his channel as
Yeah,
an Ivy League education towards where and how to day trade,
yeah,
which is
hundred
what
percent.
I have said from day one, and I will
Yeah,
stand on that.
yeah. I have over 2,000 Google Pages docs with screenshots
My
and my
G,
annotations
I love
of
hearing that.
all the mentorships and everything.
I,
Um,
I believe it's your responsibility to memorize the information that he has provided. So I
yeah,
also try to embody that with, I
yeah,
believe the core, this ICT mastermind for anyone who's listening, really how you're going to tap in with all the left and right massive community that we are. Michael has said it before, core. What is core? Core is foundation.
yeah,
So
100%.
you need to, if you're tapped into this community, you need to understand you're doing right now. Most important thing you could possibly do is plug in right now. And when you're not doing right now, you're plugging yourself into 1 through 12. It's that simple. 1
Yeah,
through 12, if you don't know what it is, you want to familiarize yourself with the foundation. And I, again, 1, 4, 8, 12.
yeah,
1, trade elements of a trade setup, 4, order block theory, 8, high probability trading, and 12, high time frame. Your ICT, begin with the end in mind, high time frame weekly framework, how you're going to delve into your quote unquote bias.
mhm,
So 12 gives you your up and down schematics. One's going to give you the logic of OHLC and you understanding the 4 stages of a trade element, of a trade elements structure, consolidation, retracement, expansion,
yeah. It
reversal,
was
right?
100%.
Anyway, back to 1,
Um,
4. 4 is your PD array matrix. The most important thing, this is for the listener, not for you, buddy. We're
yeah,
trying to help folks, right?
yeah, yeah,
So in building on your point, 1, 4, 8, and 12, right now, 5 is going to take you time. 5 is very voluminous, and you're dealing more with institutional understandings and market mechanisms, understanding seasonality, understanding IPTA. 5 is its own semester, but you can study 1, 4, 8, and 12 all at the same time, Q1 right now, while you're doing 2026. That's going to get you in line. That's going to get you in sync with what we're doing right now. And believe it or not, core content, month 4, order block theory, and the latter months within order block theory, you're going to see. I think there might only be 8 episodes. No, there are a few more. But the talking about Wix and where and how he's really referencing a lot of this material right now. It's referring back to those episodes. Okay. Again, that's for the listener, not you, G. Pretty
yeah,
please
yeah,
continue.
yeah. No worries. So to going back to where you're asking how I apply risk management. So I have opened a small live account last year in March of 2025, and I've traded that like since that like just one micro till pretty much now, and I basically extracted my initial investment of $1,400 on that small live account. Again, it was
Hey,
such like
hey,
yeah,
100% congratulations, G. That's
yeah,
noteworthy. Congratulations. That's
yeah, thank
very,
you,
very good.
thank
100%
you.
is phenomenal. Congratulations, sir.
Thank you, man. Thank you. I
What
mean, it
does it
was
feel like? What did that feel like for you when you did that? Was it just using a very modest amount of money. I don't mean that to be offensive to anybody that doesn't think that, but it's a modest amount of money in the financial world, and you're able
yeah.
to double that and take that out trading micros. What did that feel like for you?
I mean, it felt that, and it's still feeling that I'm able to control my future, because like before I was just like throwing money at things and hoping they were going up, right? And having like no no control, right? And like it was very, after what happened in 2024, it was very worrisome, you know. And I mean, I'm still making mistakes all the time. Like I I have I'm not perfect at all, but it's encouraging, like, and it's giving me like more comfort, I guess, for the future. That like I can do this in the long term. Um, but yeah, mainly is, I guess, a sense of relief. Yeah, that's mainly what it feels like. Yeah.
That's awesome. I wish everybody would try this because what you were using is synonymous to the lowest threshold of these prop firm companies. That's all the amount of money hypothetically you're allowed to have. And you went in with what I would consider probably less than. And I'm sure there's a prop firm out there that has something, lower in terms of what they would allow you to risk as a maximum drawdown. But I'm encouraged as a mentor hearing stories like this because I have students that have made millions of dollars. I have students that pay out exorbitant amount of money on a lifestyle that's just silly, and I have students that are modest and just pay their bills, and I have others that are just barely get money once in a while, and then I have people like yourself where you started with something very small, modest, and you're able to double it. And now your mind should be thinking things like this: over time, I'm going to refine this skill set and I'm going to earn a little bit more money and I'm not going to be in a rush to do so. But if I can do this account here, when I multiply my efforts and allow sober money management, that means proper leverage. That means going in and saying, okay, whatever I just did here, I'm going to now double it. And then when I double that, I can double that again. So you go through this doubling theory where you are allowing very small, modest approaches to yield heavy feats of wonder by compound interest. You should be inspired because what you just did is you proved that your cookie cutter works.
Hmm.
That's, he
Thank
goes,
you.
hmm.
Thank you, Michael. And also one thing that I want to say, what really, really, really helped me, and still helped me to this day, it's journaling, man. Like I journal religiously. Like you said in your videos, I journal religiously. At the beginning were paragraphs about my emotions, how I fucked it up in 2024, that like I was feeling like a failure, that I blew all that money away. Like honestly, we're talking about multiple six figures like gone, and I had to completely remove all that scar tissue, and it was just paragraphs and paragraphs and paragraphs, um letting all that bad feeling, bad emotions. And at the beginning, like, I had a lot of anxiety, like a lot, like even when I was in the trades, because I was feeling like, am I doing the right thing? I'm not doing the right thing, because I had all that scar tissue. And now I've modeled my journal to be like effective to what I do, and it's kind of like more checklists from top to bottom. And I go, environment, okay, are we in a high time frame expansion or we're in a range? Great. If we're in expansion, I manage the risk differently. I can do full risk, and then I go through the core, what I do, like, okay, what's my daily bias? Do I have a drawn liquidity? Um, then after that, I do like, okay, what phase of price am I in right now? Am I in a consolidation, in a retracement? So, and then after that, I go into the the power of three. Am I seeing more an accumulation going on? Then I go daily profile. Then I stack the weekly profile. I'm trying to look for a swing point, and then CISD, and yeah, basically I find a lower time frame CISD, and then I go with that after we have a sweep on liquidity.
That sounds like a pretty good cookie cutter, mate.
Yeah, yeah. So thank you, Michael, for teaching risk.
Thank you for
And
sharing your testimony. That's awesome. I love hearing this.
because like I think that that's what helped me, and it really it has put me into the right trajectory. Let's put it that way, because I hope that I can still do this for a very long time. And also, on one more thing, like I've always grew up religiously in a Italian household, but I got way closer to God since also listening to you. So thank you for that as well.
That's awesome. He's the main character.
Thank you.
Thank you, Jesus. What a great day. 1:34. I like the time, Michael. Respecting you, respecting the listener. I mean, I love even ending it with GPRT because it will be lasting within the listener to remember how important this risk management story is and how like this is really utilizing your concepts in their hands. This is what we are here for. This is the feedback you are looking for. I think leaving it here with GPRT is going to be a really good tasteful flavor for folks that are listening and how and where they'll be able to come back and listen and sign off. So not that I abruptly want to end. I just think
Yeah.
it's a very nice place to,
One
again, respect Michael's time as
Kitt,
well as GPR's discussion. But yeah, jump in, Manos.
I just want to say that it's an honor to actually be here with Michael. And thank you for everything, man, once again. That's all.
It's been, yeah, no,
I
it's been a
appreciate it.
great DeMarcus, Grim, everybody, Peter, the speakers who are here. Michael, I kind of like the format today. Fewer speakers, one at a time, leaving them here, having more of a table-like discussion. I know not everybody got to speak. I apologize. We will be here again. I vow to bring up new folks to the table, to the conversation. I thought today was wonderful myself. Really felt the energy. So I don't know, good, bad, or indifferent, Michael. I think we did it today. Your lecture was phenomenal. We did not reiterate your specific points of the lunchtime macro and those points within liquidity. I would have loved to have gone over that a little bit more within the community. I don't think they realize the sauce that you were dropping, and I, at least from the community standpoint, would like to reiterate that at least sometime this week. So I will implore the mastermind, go back and listen to the YouTube page again, and I would really like for you to look for and find and discover and tag Michael and myself, and let's have further discussion on the lecture that was delivered today. We hardly touched upon what I believe were some of the real meat and bones of what you went over, Michael. So that's the only reason I say that. But yeah, 136. I really like the
Oh,
time, and Michael, I'd love for you to close us off today, please.
Well, even though that I did the live session today and talked about some technical things, I actually think that what we talked about today was more fruitful because this is where the rubber meets the road when you're dealing with real risk, when you're dealing with loss and having to work back through that and being content with growth that's modest compared to what you risked and lost. Dealing with trading, where you're going in with there's a lot of you know you have mental baggage. You're carrying some toxicity and troublesome things and a cloud of heaviness, and hearing other people communicate that this is what they do to get through it. This is how they confront it, and don't shy away from it. They don't just say, "Well, woe is me. I'm going to feel defeated." They just redirect that energy. They go into exercising. They go into meditation. They do all these types of things and take themselves away from the dwelling on of the negativity, because it's not going to lead to good trading. You might get through a trading bout of finding profitability and trusting your model. But if you're a human being, if you have loved ones, if you have people you have to take care of, you're going to eventually hit this wall where you're like, man, I'm going through something. I need to meet a need for them. I need to make something happen for them. I'm behind the eight ball financially. I need something, some unforeseen expense this came out of nowhere, and I have to take care of this. I'm the only breadwinner, and you're going to start heaping on all of this expectation on yourself, and now you're taking yourself away from what you're really supposed to be focusing on, which is your model, your approach to doing it. You're not trying to over leverage. You're not trying to do more than what's necessary and take yourself out of a good, sound, sober mindset. Listening to other people, and their thoughts on what they do, what they've encountered, like that. That's what I love about this community. Like it's not about just let's talk about ICT stuff. I love the human aspect. I love because that's what makes those books, Market Wizards, Volume 1 and 2. The rest of them are shit. Those first two volumes are awesome because you're tapping into how they think, what they endured, their humanity, the things that they cared about. What was the most important thing that they endured or considered while they were doing what they were doing that made them significant enough to be in that book? That to me is what's alluring. That's what's important to me because you can have a very simple strategy and it need not be ICT related. And if as long as you don't risk a lot of money and you control yourself, you can be profitable. But the problem is we don't spend enough time analyzing what our fuck ups are. Where is our problems? We all have them. We all have character flaws, and the ones that say they don't, or they say they completely overcome them, you never do. They're still going to act as mental baggage. You're still just dragging them to change this further behind you, but they're still being dragged by you. And the importance is for you not to collect too much of that because the shit gets heavy. It gets real heavy, and you don't want to be 34 years into your career and think, man, I could have avoided all this extra shit I'm carrying around because I still look at the market and I see things that I remember the last time I did a trade looked like this and I put this much leverage in there. Man, do I really want to follow this? I have to wrestle with that, even being who I am. So it's because of what I've done to myself in the past. So if you do the right things now and make that your procedure, your protocol, that's your process, that's your mentality, that's the way you think, that's your MO, that's what you're going to do. If you make that as positive as possible, reduce the negativity outwardly and inwardly, and try to live a balanced life, so that way you're not going to have this conflict all the time. They have to constantly feel like you have to resolve. It's hard to focus. It's very, very hard to focus when you're risking something like money. You're risking a skill set in the belief system that you're right or wrong, and therefore that makes you profitable. Like you have all these things that you're wrestling inside internally. And when you bring external conflict into that, or you allow or invite that because of your direct influence or someone else's influence over you, it makes trading so much more difficult. And if you're a young person and you have a very busy conflict lifestyle, chances are you're probably not profitable. And that's usually the very first thing you should address. And when you correct that, then you'll have a lot more peaceful mindset to be able to grow and appreciate where your flaws are so that you can honestly look at them and say, I need to make changes and take this out of my life and remove it because it's not good for me. It's not good for where I'm trying to take myself. It's not good for me to provide for my family because this can make considerable amounts of money if I do it correctly. But you're not doing it correctly if you bring toxicity into it. So I think it was a wonderful conversation today, and I was glad to be a part of it.
With that, everybody, we'll see you the next time. Thank you so much. Thank you, Michael. Thank you, Manos, Grim, GPRT, Peter, and Parth.
Have a good weekend, folks.
Wonderful, wonderful episode. Very organized. I look forward to a continuation in our spiral upwards towards more productive conversations that are helping more and more folks. Let's fucking go.